Hey, oh, what's up, Pedro? I am brain dead in the Twitch chat. How you doing, my friend? Just finishing up a couple things to set up. We got Izu Gamer Beast in the chat. What's up, motherfuckers? We got G Mob King. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. First time chatter. Following since December 27th, 2024. Let's go. This is what we have to look forward to. Another Trump stream. He's live right now. YouTube be lagging. We just gotta wait for it to stop lagging. Yeah. Burr, 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 burr. Desk. Oh my God, things are flying everywhere. Oh, I got me a drink. Music is fire. Thank you. Is it loud enough? Maybe slightly louder. Yeah, it's going to be laggy for a sec, but it should stop being laggy shortly. That's what I think we should do. And then I'll just keep the order of everything else. There we go. Like the vid? Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Welcome in, everybody on YouTube. We're getting started very shortly. Celestial Twitch is in, or Celestial Witch is in the Twitch chat. Nitro's running, or Nimbus is running around. You want to watch Nimbus chase the laser? Love that. Intentionally inflammatory in the chat. What's up, man? The lag should be clearing up a little bit on the stream, right? Or on YouTube. Yeah, it looks like YouTube's clearing out a little bit. It just takes a bit. Then it clears out. You know what I'm saying? Let me turn this back down a little bit. Just gonna hang out, chit chat with you guys. How old are they? I got Nimbus is like a year old, give or take, something like that. And then Duke, the other one running around, is 15, running around chasing lasers. And then Nitro is like 5 or something like that. He's a wolf dog. He's hiding. It's great for you. Looks like, okay, yeah, looks like the lag kind of cleared up pretty quick today, so that's good. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. We're gonna be talking. Trump is live from somewhere, doing some F Institute thing. I'm gonna let you guys continue to flow in. We're gonna hang out, talk for a little bit. Yep, I do think the lag is over. It's on YouTube's side. I thought it was me at first, but it's not. It's YouTube. I was like, damn, dude, I haven't experienced like YouTube lag in a long time. They've been pretty good for a long time now. But nope, we had a little lag. Happens. We're getting through it. These YouTube short streams are absolutely popping off though. Like I am doing so good. We're getting like 100,000, sometimes even 200,000 people showing up to these streams on YouTube shorts, and it's incredible. I'm like, it's like, damn, dude, I can do it. I could do this stuff, man. Just makes me feel good. Gives me the confidence, you know, like I'm already pretty confident because I've done a bunch of things and I'm, just confident. But to see the results and to see so many people show up to these streams, like we got 140 people showing up in here right now. That's what's up. I'm talking about it. Should play For Honor. I could check it out at some point. You deserve it, Stanny boy. I don't deserve it. I know what I'm doing, so I made it so. That's the way I look at it. It's like I don't like thinking deserve. I don't like that. It's entitled, and I'm not entitled to it. I'm not entitled to a lot of views. I am going to do things that people want to watch, and they will watch. Therefore, I will have views. I will just do what people want to watch. We want to hear Trump speak. We're going to be a little bit delayed on the stream because he's live right now, so we're going to be a little bit behind, but I'm just letting people come in so people can watch from the beginning. And I always like to start my streams with like 10, 20, sometimes even 30 minutes of hanging out. I think that we might get started a little bit quicker today, but we do have a lot of people showing up. I'm going to smoke some Shire Leaf before we get started. If you guys know, you know. I'm going to add a Twitch link on the YouTube Shorts channel, so it should be at the bottom of the chat for you guys if you are interested and watching on Twitch instead. It is widescreen. I will say Twitch does have more ads, so you might get plagued with those unless you have Twitch Turbo or something. But yeah, watch wherever you want. There's an option for you guys. Twitch is widescreen and you'll see like more of everything, but I vibe just watching like this sometimes, bro. It's just comfortable. It's like holding a banana. It's just natural. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Duke. My boy. Oh, Duke, there's my boy. This guy's 15. 15. Kidding? Your breath. You have shit breath? Shit? Kidding? No? Okay, he's so old, he just shits himself. Shits himself all the time. All right, Shire Leaf for me, and then I'll be back and we'll hang out and talk more about what's going on. I'd love to see you jam some of that here and there, honestly. For Honor? I've never played For Honor, but I have played Shiv 2, and my favorite, Mordhau, when it comes to those. But I've been playing a little bit of what's it called? It's a new game, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That has sort of similar combat, not really. And then I just started playing Avowed yesterday. I'm in the middle of so many damn games. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go gold. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready for Trump. You got to get prepared for Trump, you know? Got to get yourself all readied up. Okay, let's do this. Let's find where this starts. Or maybe, okay, hold on, pull him up. Let's see if there's anyone else to talk to before. I want to make sure I talk to everybody that's here first. Old doggos are the best doggos. Yeah, especially when they're shitting themselves all over the place. Yeah, he pees a little sometimes. Yeah, Duke is thankfully not pissing everywhere. That would be so much more messy. The shit is actually easier because you just pick it up and it's not like mushed into the carpet. If it does get it, then we shampoo, of course, but I don't know. He's just old and he's stubborn as hell. I think he's going to live to be 20. The Law in the chat, welcome. GamerB says, Elon says that they might do a live streamed walkthrough checking the vaults. That would be so cool. I would want to watch that. Bonjour, Dodged. What's up? Welcome back. Trippy. Let's watch Trump. Let's get started here. I'm ready. I'm gonna pause the music. Let's do this. Here we go. All right, here's the beginning. Do a stream marker. Let's find when where he gets here. President Trump is participating in the FII Priority Summit. Can someone tell me in the chat what that is? I'm going to pull chat up on See, we should have YouTube. There's YouTube on the left. Twitch is going to be on the right for those watching full screen. And here we go. What is this?
Gentlemen, dear friends, welcome.
Oh, it's French.
To the third edition of the FII Priority Summit in Miami.
What's FIO? It's in Miami.
This year, we're starting with an exceptional session. It is my distinct honor to introduce a man who is the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America.
Everyone's stroking his ego, dude.
This man is a visionary business person, a media icon, and a political leader, of course. His impact on the global stage has been profound. From transforming the real estate industry to reshaping economic and foreign policy, his leadership continues to spark dialogue and drive change.
Glaze, glaze, glaze.
At the Future Investment Initiative Institute, we are committed to shaping a brighter, more sustainable future by fostering innovation.
Future Investment Initiative Institute. Got it.
These are principles that align with the President's bold approach to leadership and economic growth.
Yes.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Please clap. Everyone fucking clap if you're watching right now. Please clap. You're not allowed to boo if you don't like him. You have to clap too. Even if you're a lefty. Who's raking his teeth? What's that? Is that when you take like your shirt and you're like, eh. Stan, my man. Stream David Irving presentations. $2 super chat. David Irving, who's that? Thanks for the $2 super chat. Boo, Vapor. No, I said no booing. Even if you don't like Trump, you have to clap. Please clap. It's mandatory. No, but wait, no booing. What? What the fuck are you guys doing? I didn't say you could boo. What? Tech support. What? Vapor. What? What? No booing. I said that wasn't allowed, bro. You're supposed to listen. What the fuck? Well, how? You guys are breaking the rules, man. I said no booing allowed. You have to clap for Trump, bro. Come on. Come on. This is Trump's like favorite song, dude. Message retracted. Did someone get in trouble? Or did they self-delete that? Do we have to stand too? Yes, stand, clap, and say thank you. He's President Trump. I love Trump. No booing! No, dude. What? That's not allowed. This is a righty chat, bro. You're not allowed to boo Trump in our righty chat. Okay? That's not allowed. It's against the rules. All right? And for everyone that's not booing, all right, join us. My fellow brainwashed righties. We're all brainwashed, apparently. That's right. I was thinking of like coming up with a funny, I think I turned it down slightly. Oh shit, I think we're getting copyrighted. Oh well. I'll just cut all this out later. I forgot. We'll probably get copyrighted on this. They should make this public domain. It's America. I'm torn on Trump. He's exposing fraud on one hand, but selling out to you-know-who on the other. I don't know who he's selling out to, but I just feel like good things are happening.
What a great...
Thank you for the $5 super chat.
You have to see outside. It's going wild outside with a lot of love for all of us, I guess. But thank you, Richard, for the introduction, and thank you to all for such a warm welcome. It's great to be back in beautiful Miami, where I've actually built a lot of great buildings with the Desert family and some others. We've had tremendous success in Miami. We have Trump Towers and Sunny Isles Beach. It's 4 beautiful buildings right on the ocean. The Trump Grande, put the little E in the end for a little, class it up a little bit.
One of my other streams was copyrighted.
Trump
Let me take a look real quick, see if I fixed it yet.
The 700-acre Doral. It's a
I was working on that.
Country club, and it's actually the most successful country club in the U.S. where
someone say the most successful,
to build 1,500 units.
The very best successful.
Less about building units when you're president. Who the hell wants to build units?
Bro, I love hearing this guy talk. I just love it. It's like
I don't want to build units, but they gave us permission.
Nursery rhymes.
But today is a tremendous honor. Become the first American president to address the Future Investment Initiative Institute. That's the first one. It's always nice.
I think I got rid of the copyright on the other stream.
Thank
So that one's back. So you guys can watch that one again.
of Miami, Francis Suarez, for being here. Thank you very much, Francis, wherever you may be.
Sitting
Hi,
on my
Francis.
nuts, dude. What happens when you have
Thank
huge
for the
nuts? You sit
endorsement
on them all the
when I ran.
time.
I was very appreciative.
Yeah, big
Along
balls.
with the mayor of Miami Beach,
burden.
Stephen Miner. Stephen, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Like
Thank
big
you,
boobs
Stephen.
are a burden
Thank
for
you very
girls,
much.
right? Big balls are a
And
burden
numerous
for men.
American business leaders, some of the biggest business leaders actually anywhere in the world, and many distinguished guests from the Middle East, and in particular the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, a special place with special leaders. And including FII Institute Chairman and Governor of the Public Investment Fund, which is a seriously big fund. Yasser, I see you there. Stand up, Yasser. Yeah, everyone knows Yasser. Thank you.
Yeah, don't say anything that's
Great
against
guy.
YouTube TOS in my
Great
chat.
person.
You guys can.
And finance.
Let me pause real quick.
Minister
Sorry.
Mohammed, thank
You guys are free to say whatever the fuck you want in my chat. You can shit talk me. I don't give a fuck, man. You guys can love Trump. You can hate Trump in the chat. I don't care. That's as long as you guys aren't breaking Twitch or Twitch TOS on Twitch, YouTube TOS on YouTube, and you're not going too far like spamming or anything like that. Then you guys can say whatever you want. Just don't say anything that will get you in trouble, right? And also, there also is a moral line of don't say things, even if it's like a roundabout way of like being racist or anything like that. Don't talk like that in the chat. Other than that, you guys are good to go. Okay. Like don't just keep it like real life, the way you would talk to people in real life in the chat, but you can say, fuck you, buddy, all you want in the chat to each other. I don't care.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Right. Thank you very much. Good to see you again. That's pretty good, finance minister of that part of the world. That's not bad. Other parts of the world, not so good, but that one is good. And many other senior government leaders. I also want to recognize the kingdom's ambassador to the United States, Her Royal Highness Princess Rima. Ooh, very popular. Very popular. Wow. That's very nice. Sitting next to Elon. Wow, that's
his best friend.
Better than that, huh?
Elon and Trump are best friends now.
As well as my own special envoy to the Middle East, who's really done a fantastic job, Steve Witkoff. Thank you, Steve. He's been busy. And Michael Waltz is here. Where is Michael? Michael's been so busy. They've been going back and forth and back. And a woman who is just voted the most powerful woman anywhere in the world. No, I'm going to go with Princess Rima, but she was voted the most powerful woman anywhere in the world, Susie Wiles. Thank you. Thank you. Most powerful woman. That's pretty good. We have to talk to you about that, Susie. That's pretty good. And also, we all know Jared Kushner, a very special guy. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Jared. And Elon Musk. He's been making a little news lately, hasn't he, though? Very positive news. Stand up, Elon.
Dude, I think Trump loves how much they hate Elon and how good Elon is at winning anyways. And he just loves that. And then Elon's loyal as fuck.
I heard they got very good ratings, too, by the way. We did. Hannity. Sean Hannity was fantastic, a fantastic man, a fantastic guy. And he did a show, and it was great being on the show with you last night. I come today with a simple message for business leaders from all across the nation and all around the world. If you want to build the future, push boundaries, unleash breakthroughs, transform industries, and make a fortune, because you want to make a fortune. Most of you have already made a fortune. I don't want to say that. There's no better place on earth than the current and future United States of America under a certain president named Donald J. Trump. I think that we're going to do very well. They're saying that November 5th, Election Day, 2024 will go down as one of the most important days in the history of our country. They said in 129 years, the most consequential election. I don't know if they're right about that or not, but it sounds good. I wanted to see if I could get a couple of more years tacked on, but I figured the fight wasn't really worth it. 129 is a lot. And as of January 20th, 2025, the dark days of high taxes, crushing regulations, rampant inflation, flagrant corruption, government weaponization. Oh, I know about weaponization. and total incompetence will be gone forever. They'll be gone forever.
Can anybody post any information about the Future
United
Investment
States is back
Interactive
and open
Institute
for business, and the
in the
golden
chat? Any
age
facts?
of America has officially begun. You see it happening. Since
Is this like the
my
rich
election,
people
America's economic engines have
right?
come roaring back to life in just a very short period of time. Think of it, from November 5th, the progress that's been made has been amazing. The NASDAQ is up nearly 10% in just a few months, and that's a lot. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 2,200 points, and Bitcoin has set multiple all-time record highs because everyone knows that I'm committed to making America the crypto capital. We want to stay at the forefront of everything, and one of them is crypto, and Miami seems to be the center of the action, come to think of it.
Interesting. I wonder why.
Maybe it'll stay there. Business optimism skyrocketed 42 points. Think of that in a single month, the most in history by far. That's the biggest increase in history by not even.
And we need that so we get more shit done. We can be competitive.
Of manufacturing activity surged into positive territory for the first time in many years. Amazing. And it was just announced, this is an interesting one. I didn't realize it was that bad for so long, but it was just announced by one of the nation's most historically accurate and respected pollsters, Rasmussen, that the number of Americans who believe our country is on the right track now exceeds those who think it's heading in the wrong direction for the first time in 20 years. Can you believe that? 20 years.
Benji, I saw your super chats.
And this is really a seismic 27-point swing from just before the election. Nobody's ever seen anything like that one, yes, sir. I want to tell you, that's a big one. The best and most successful business leaders on earth are now racing to invest in the United States. Since November, DeMac has announced plans to invest $40 billion in the U.S., creating at least 10,000 jobs. SoftBank has announced investments of between $100 and $200 billion, creating at least 100,000 American jobs. Oracle and OpenAI and SoftBank are now collectively committing $500 billion to keep the United States on the cutting edge of artificial intelligence, and so many more. I mean, so many companies that want to come to the White House and have a little news conference all the time. I said, why don't you just announce it? But they want to come, and I'll do that. I don't mind doing that. I say anytime they want to go 10 billion or more, I'm there.
He's selling it, dude. That's so funny.
10 billion or more.
That's so funny.
But on his recent visit to the White House, the Prime Minister of Japan announced he anticipates Japanese investment in the United States of well over $1 trillion. And we're working on an Alaska pipeline already, which is the closest point to Asia. And as you know, the ANWR, which we've started, Ronald Reagan couldn't get it approved. Nobody could get it approved for so many years. Couldn't get it approved. I got it approved. Actually, I got it approved twice. I got it approved, and Biden ended it. That was a shocker. But we just got it approved again. And we're going to be, it's probably the largest deposit maybe anywhere in the world.
The shit water, bro.
It's, they say, of similar size to Saudi Arabia.
Busy water.
So we hope that's correct. But all of this is only happening because of the world-changing results of the 2024 election.
Benji, I'll read your super
We won
chats.
the House,
Just
we
letting
won the
Trump
Senate,
talk.
the White House, and the Electoral College, and the popular vote in a landslide. We also won all 7 swing states, and all 50 states shifted in the Republican direction for the first time ever. So every state, every single state of the 50 states shifted Republican. It's never happened before. Either way.
Let's keep doing that. Let's keep that up.
85% of counties voted for Trump. Think of that. So you have 2,600 counties versus 525. 2,600. Think of that. That's why when you look at the election map after it was all done, the certified map, the whole thing was red. 2,600 versus 500. It's a big difference. Nobody's seen anything like it, actually.
Interesting.
So as a result of this very historic victory, investors from all over the planet once again have confidence in America's future and respect for America's leaders. And it's about time we get a little respect The last administration was the worst and most incompetent in the history of our country, but we are moving quickly to fix every single disaster Joe Biden created.
I love it,
and
dude.
make America stronger and more prosperous than ever before.
It's such a shit talker. It just makes me laugh every time, bro. It's so funny. I love it when he talks shit.
Most urgent mission is to remove the criminals that Biden allowed
Swift!
into our country with the ridiculous and very dangerous open borders policy. They came from all over the world. They came from prisons and jails. They came from mental institutions and insane asylums. They were gang members. They were drug lords. They came from all over, and they were allowed to come into our country. And we're getting them out in record levels, just like they came in record levels. I want to thank Tom Homan and Christie, who was she's doing a fantastic job, governor of South Dakota, and Tom Homan, and they are doing a fantastic job. And
thanks for the $5 super chat, BJ.
the results are incredible. And every country is taking them back. They're sending their criminals to us, and they're all taking them back. We had a little problem with a couple of them that ended very quickly.
$22 in super chats,
And
just to be
some
clear.
said,
Thank
we don't
you.
really want MS-13 back in our country. But I said, congratulations, you're taking them back. And they take them back. And by the way, Europe and other places ought to start also doing that. They better start looking at immigration, because it's really hurting Europe very, very badly. And they better get smart, and they better get tough before it's too late. We're also working to end the highest inflation in our country's history, all caused because they played with our energy policy and wasted money on the Green New Scam and other things such as that. And they wasted monies at never seen before levels. If Joe Biden had simply held federal spending at the pre-pandemic levels we had in 2019, we would have virtually no inflation. We're trying to balance the budget immediately, and because of the tariff income, which is really, it's already turned out to be amazing, actually. It's really meant more for bringing countries and companies into our country, but the numbers are rather staggering, because we're the big piggy bank that everybody wants to be, and they can play games and they can say, well, there'll be retribution and, equal this and that, but they can't be equal. But we want to keep it so that we're the big piggy bank. And if we had years like we did the last 4 years, that wouldn't have lasted too long. So we're not.
Some would say the most blue.
But, all of these things could happen. We hope to balance our budget. So I don't want to promise it, because if I do and we come about $10 short, the fake news media back there would say, we have breaking news. He did not make it. He did not make it.
This comment section is embarrassing.
We'll
People are
get it
just
done
saying what
very
they think,
soon.
man.
It might not be this year,
Free to
but it
say
could
what they
be
want.
this year. Actually, we have a chance at getting it even this year, which people would be shocked at, because they were talking about 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now. When I took office last month, we inherited the consequences of inflation. That was more than 4 times what it was when I left 4 years ago. Think of that. I left, it was at 1.4%. And the annual government spending over $1.5 trillion more than projected in 2020 alone. $1.5 trillion. But under the Trump administration, all of that is changing faster and more dramatically than anyone ever thought possible. They didn't think it was possible to do what we've done in just a very short period of time. We've accomplished more in 4 weeks than most administrations accomplish in 4 years. On my first day in office, I imposed an immediate federal hiring freeze, a federal regulation freeze, and a foreign aid freeze.
Yep, this is live.
I signed an order creating the Department of Government Efficiency and put a man named Elon Musk in
Hell yeah.
charge. Thank you, Elon.
Yeah, let's go. Hey, everyone has to clap, whether you like Elon or not. You have to clap. This rules. You have to clap.
He's doing a great
This is
job.
a righty stream. You have to clap.
I've seen him last night. It's really, he's a very
Good job,
serious
Brittany.
person.
Brittany's clapping.
He's a very serious person. And he's a very high IQ people. I like high IQ people. Not all have to be, but, it'd be nice to have some people up there that he's a seriously high IQ individual. Now, he's got his faults also, I will tell you that. But not too many of them, which is now really waging war on government waste, fraud, and abuse.
Yeah, fuck that shit up.
Curbing inflation and saving taxpayers billions and billions of dollars every single day, and There's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt, because the numbers are incredible, Elon. So many billions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions, and we're thinking about giving 20% back to the American citizens and 20% down to pay back debt and pay down debt, which is, if you look at value, if it were a real estate balance sheet, the debt is tiny, but we still want to pay it down. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we could do that.
Don't look at it as
Thanks for the
piece of real
$5
estate.
super
It's
chat, Ben.
America. We're going to get it down through intelligence, hard work, and as Elon said, a word called caring. You have to care. By doing this, Americans will tell us where there's waste. They'll be reporting it themselves. They participate in the process of saving money. So many of the men and women in this room, as an example, they pay tremendous amounts of taxes. And here are just a few examples.
Yeah,
of
lower
where
all the
money
rich
was
people's
going
taxes.
Before I came along. These are just some of the, just taken at random. Oh, there are much worse examples than this. I was just looking at them before the speech, and I can tell you they were much worse. And there are some that are horrible, but I don't want to really say them because they're very, very embarrassing.
What?
People.
What?
Very
Say it.
Embarrassing. And they're really something, but you'll be seeing it and you will be reading about it. But just some taken at random, $2 million for sex change operations
Oh, God.
in Guatemala.
Guatemala.
$20 million for Sesame Street performances in Iraq. $20 million, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I make a lot of money. I want my
You know
taxes
what
to
it
be
costs
lower,
to do
and
those
I
things. You
have
get a
no
cash
problem
over
saying
for
that.
$50,000.
I don't want to pay more taxes. I want to pay less.
That's it, not 20 million. 20 million, that's Gone with the Wind on steroids. $101 million for 29 diversity, equity, and inclusion contracts at the Department of Education. Wow. And we've canceled all of these, saved all of this money. And again, this is just a small sample. This could go on. I could read them all day. $520 million for a consultant. I want to know, who is that consultant? To do ESG, that's environmental,
better?
social, and governance investments in Africa. $25 million
better?
to promote
Is that better?
biodiversity, conservation, and illicit livelihoods by developing socially responsible behavior in Colombia. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that even means. None of this stuff, everyone's trying to figure out, what the hell does it all mean? $42 million for social and behavior changes in Uganda. 40 million's a lot of newspaper ads in Uganda.
Yeah,
$70 million for research of evidence-based solutions for development challenges. $10 million for Mozambique medical male circumcision.
He just has this whole room cracking up, dude. Everyone is just laughing.
What does that mean? $2.3 million for strengthening independent voices in Cambodia. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $486 million to the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $22 million for inclusive, participatory political process in Moldova, and $21 million for voter turnout in India. What do we need to spend $21 million for voter turnout in India?
Yeah, Elon's out there, yeah.
Wow, $21 million. I guess they were trying to get somebody else elected. Wow, we ought to tell the Indian government, because when we hear that Russia spent about $2 in our country, it was a big deal, right? They took some internet ads for $2,000. This is a total breakthrough. $21 million for India elections, $29 million to strengthen the political landscape in Bangladesh, $20 million for fiscal federalism, and $19 million in addition to the $21 million for biodiversity conversion in Nepal. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. We need voter confidence.
Just pausing for this one. $50 super chat from Benji. Thank you very much. He says, don't make me tap the sign. There's no cost I won't pay to get the people to understand who the jailers and oppressors are. They'll kill, imprison, slander, start world wars, and write a bad narrative about you. Most can't imagine the price of truth.
Confidence, too, when you read this list. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $2.5 million for inclusive democracies in South Africa. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well. We don't need to give them money. And in another program, $50 million plus another $50 million for condoms for Hamas. Do you know about that? $100 million for condoms. Condoms. Does everybody know what a condom is? For Hamas. $100 million.
Thank you for the $10 super chat, Carlos.
And these are just some. I could read this list all day long. I just don't want to bore you. But these are just some, and not nearly as bad as others. And some are just...
Alien, thanks for the 5.
Because they're too incendiary. We're also finding tremendous abuse, waste, and fraud in Social Security. Social Security, what's happening there is going to be one of the great...
And that person quit, the head of it. They fired, quit, whatever. This is crazy.
One of the programs there are over 4.7 million Social Security numbers from people from 100 years old to 109. Think of that. Now, over 100, there aren't a lot of people that make it. Hopefully, most of the people in this room will make it, but historically, you don't have thousands and thousands of people. But listen to this, 3.6 million people are on Social Security rolls from the age of 110 years old to 119. Do you think there are really that many? Those people are seriously old.
They're vampires. It's proof that vampires exist, apparently, right?
3.47 million people are on Social Security.
That's crazy.
From the age of 120 years old to 129 years old.
Where does that money go?
3.9 million people are on the age of Social Security from 130 years old.
We're all in a cult. Hello, my fellow cult members. We're all brainwashed.
Now, the all-time record, I heard...
Hello, my fellow brainwashed Trump supporters.
Who was 127 years old. That's the record.
Just hold on a second. I had an idea. I was thinking we could call ourselves brainwashed Trump supporters or something like that. Like we need there's got to be a better way to say it, but we need it. It'd be funny.
From a certain country.
I guess cult members. Hello, my fellow cult members.
And
sounds good.
She was 127 years old. That's pretty old. We're topping by millions.
Yeah, there's Kool-Aid, bro. It's delicious. It tastes like money.
3.5 million people from the age 140 to 149 years old. 1.3 million people are on Social Security from the age 150 to 159. And over 130,000 people are on Social Security over the age of 160 years old.
There we go.
Okay? Including 1,039 people. Think of it, over 1,000 people between the ages of 220 to 229. And one person between the age of 240 years old to 249. And the record topper, there is one person on Social Security who's 360 years old, which is approximately 110 years older than our country.
That's the elder vampire. That's the one in charge of everyone. It's the elder vampire. It's a bunch of vampires on those Social Security. I'm telling you, it's proof that they exist.
What we're trying to find out, and what we will find out, is are people being paid from all of these, somebody pocketing 10,000 here, 10,000 there. What's going on? So we'll find out.
Dude, let me get some of those thousands.
A lot of computer geniuses. I said to Elon, who are these people that are doing this, the Doge people? I said, who are they? Where do they come from? He said, well, number one, they love our country. Number two, they're really genius at computers. So nobody's going to fool them. When they go in, they see some bureaucrat that's scamming the country, and they try and talk about, certain computer language.
Thank you for the $5 super chat, Benji.
That way. These are people that have a natural ability as brilliant computer people. It was very interesting when he told me that. I said, that's what you need today. But all of these scams have now been terminated. In addition, over the past month, we have effectively eliminated the U.S. Agency for International Development, which was funding much of this lunacy. We virtually shut down the out-of-control CFPB, escorting radical left bureaucrats out of the building and locking the doors behind them. What they were doing was so terrible. Where they were spending the money was so terrible. What we haven't looked at yet, but will be, is does the money come back to them? Because nobody can be stupid like that. And they're not stupid. They're smart, actually. And, you know, why are they doing that? Does money come back to them? So we'll figure that out pretty easily, I think, and quickly. But I've ended all of the so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion programs across the entire federal government and private sector, and notified every single government DEI officer that their jobs have been deleted. They're all deleted. And it's interesting, even these companies that have tremendous amounts of money, a number of them just announced, Walmart, if you can believe it, they just announced that they're stopping. And, you know, these companies are writing off like $220 million. How can you spend
golden
that much
age
money
indeed,
no matter
bro?
what you're doing? If you're teaching something, you're going to have an instructor. You're going to talk. You're going to give them a book. Please read the book. You know, and then you find they spent $225 million on that. What's going on? And we were going in the wrong way. And
Benji with $5 super chat. Thank you. $5 super chat from Carlos.
We defeated ISIS with our military in 3 weeks. General Raisin Kane he's some general. He's a real general, not a television general. And 3 weeks, ISIS. And I asked him, and I saw some of his people that were so great, the soldiers. We have the greatest military in the world, but we don't have the greatest top leadership. That's why Afghanistan was such a
He's just freestyling.
Situation.
He's just going for it. I love
so
it.
Embarrassing and so many other things. But when we want to, with proper leadership, there's nobody even close to us. We have the best equipment in the world. We make the best equipment in the world.
Yep.
But we have the best military. But you know, we never fight to win. We fight to just
spend money.
Keep it going forever.
Yeah.
And when we fight to win, there's nobody that can even come close to us. But I was talking to General Dan Kane, we call him Raisin Kane, and I was told it would take about 4 years to defeat ISIS, and he did it in 3 weeks. I said to him, "What do you think, General? How long will it take?" "Sir, I think we should do it in less than 4 weeks. You're going to have time left over." And he did. He did that. And we were told by the television generals it would take 4 years, so we did it. That's when I went to Iraq. I flew to Iraq. And late at night, the dark of night, all the windows closed, all the lights off in the plane. And
thanks, Lord Philip. I see you.
And we flew in, and it was pretty amazing. I'll tell you, we were landing, and there were no lights in the plane. "Sir, we have to turn off all lights." I said, "You mean we spend $9 trillion and we have to fly in an Air Force One with the lights off?" And I went up to the pilot, said hello. And by the way, these guys are like central casting. These are the best-looking human beings. Everybody is like perfect. The most handsome people, the best-looking people you've ever seen with the laptops and the whole thing. And I was a little concerned because the lights are off, and everything's off, and even the lights in where he was were down, very dim, very, very dim, with all of the lights on the fancy dashboards of the plane.
Why?
Of Air Force One. We're getting a new Air Force One if they can ever finish the damn thing. We're getting 2 of them, actually. But we may have to go a different route because it's taken them a long time. We're going to get military that's going to start building. We're going to get people to start building properly again in our country because they don't build properly.
Yeah, everyone clap.
This was
There's
Boeing.
Elon. Everyone clap.
But we're up there, and
even if you're lefty, you have to.
I'm looking at
The rules.
these people, and again, I say they look like Tom Cruise, but better. Stronger, tougher.
Okay.
And I like Tom Cruise, but these are better. And they said,
no booing, not allowed. This gets rules. You have to clap.
"Yes, sir, we're fine." But I'm looking at it, I don't see any lights, and we're landing. And I'm used to that. I like to sit with the pilots a lot and respect the pilots greatly. And we're up there, and we have the computer. I call it the computer voice, where it goes 1,900, 800. It's feet. Your feet above ground. So that means you're very low. And I'm looking out, and my eyes are pretty good, and I don't see any lights. And the
timer on posting?
Sounds like an intelligent individual. It goes,
I don't have anything to do with that.
We're 1,000 feet up. It's a 10-story building. There's a big plane. And then it goes 900, 800, 700. I say, Captain, Captain, we don't see any lights. Is everything? Yes, sir, everything's fine, sir. We'll be landing in 3 minutes. And then it goes like 600.
Bro, I'm falling asleep from this story.
500.
I'm about to fall asleep. Come on, Trump.
Captain, we okay? And then he goes 400, 300, 200. And I'm saying, man, there's nothing out there. And then he goes,
dude,
boom,
is Trump
perfect.
or
Landing
Elon's
right
face
on
is
this
like,
thing. There's no lights on the runway. There's I don't
He's
know
got the
how
good
the
shit.
hell
I want
they
some.
do it, but I'm sure as hell glad we had somebody that knows how to fly. But they didn't want to have any lights because they didn't want the enemy. After spending,
Thanks, Jake.
years and trillions of dollars, we have to land with Air Force One with no lights on the runway. But they were incredible people. And then I got out of the plane and I actually asked my people, I said, excuse me, I was very brave sitting in that cockpit. Am I allowed to give myself the Congressional Medal of Honor? And they said, I don't think so, sir. I said, well, I felt I was extremely brave. But now here's the problem with saying a story like that when you kid. The press will say, President Donald Trump wanted to give himself the Congressional Medal of Honor. Headlines, headlines all over, the fake news. We call it the fake news, but we're all wise to them. But it was something, and then I went down, and it was the same thing. I'm standing on the top, and I look down, and there's these handsome people. Everybody's like from a movie set. Good-looking guys. I get down the stairs, and what's your name? My name is Kane, sir. What's your first name? They call me Raisin. I say, wait a minute, your name is Raisin Kane? I love you. I've been looking for you for 5 years. You are the great. This is what I want. And there was a general next to him. There was a colonel. There was a drill sergeant, a master sergeant.
I don't know if there's a point to the story, to be honest. I love Trump, but he's losing me.
And they were great. And
He's
then I went
losing
in
me.
So would you like to rest before the bed? No, I don't want to rest. I don't want to rest. I've been resting on the plane, other than the last few moments, which were quite harrowing. And I said, I don't want to rest. He was thinking about Biden in advance, Biden would have gone there. He would have rested for days. And then they wouldn't have had a meeting. He'd just go home. No, I said, I don't want to rest. I don't want to rest at all. I want to go. So we went into this bunker, and we had a lot of very good, talented people. And that's when I asked them. I said, I'm hearing it's going to take a long time. No, that's not right, sir. It's not going to take a long time. We'll have it done in 4 weeks. I said, how can you say 4 weeks when in Washington they said
He's telling the
4
story
years?
about how he destroyed ISIS. That's right. Okay.
4 weeks, sir. We'll hit them left. We'll hit them right. We'll hit them up the center. We'll hit them underground and overground. We'll knock the hell out of them, sir. And I said, why is it that they said so long? He said, because they wouldn't let us fight. And we're very far away. They want us to fight from this airport. We're very, very far away, sir. And they want us to fight here. We have many substations out, sub-airports, they call them, remote airports, where they build them in the sand. And we have many of them, and I'd use them all, sir. And I would hit them so hard from so many different directions. I said, well, what do you think? He said, you just let me know. And I called him back, and I said, go ahead and do it. Are you sure you can do this, General? I said, yes, sir. And he did it actually in 3 weeks. It was over 100% of people that are really hurting the Middle East, hurting the world. And it was done. And I'm telling you, we have the greatest military in the world. But
let's do this to the cartel.
But there's nothing like what they were able to do in that case and in other
They just
cases
signed them to
wherever I
be
gave them something.
terrorists, a whole bunch of them.
Done incredibly well and many of the instances because it's been well reported. But we've also required, and we have a country that's a great country. It's a strong country, but it's a country that's just now gaining its respect back to the levels that it should have never lost. We were being laughed at by the entire world.
Thanks, Keith.
But we're not being laughed at anymore. But we've also required that all federal employees must once again show up to work. It's a new phenomena, since COVID. Show up to work in person like the rest of us. So, it doesn't work when you don't show up. And I see companies now are all going back to it. They're all going back. It's great. I watch some of the big business leaders saying we
war with Mexico? No, just fucking drone strike the cartel, bro.
They're not working.
Drone strike the fuck out of them.
Or they have other jobs, but they're not working.
We're already surveilling them in space right now.
A company or a country with that. So we have a very strong policy, and if they don't show up to work, they get fired. And we're trying to make our government smaller but much stronger. And we have tremendous bureaucracy, but it's happening. A lot of people are leaving, and in some cases leaving with pretty good offers. You know, you're paid 7 or 8 months and go out, find a job. But some of these people had jobs. They were actually working for us, but they also had other jobs. And those people, in theory, they have problems. I don't know if we're going to do anything about that. So we have other things to do.
Bro, Trump
They were
is
working other
losing
jobs
me.
instead of working for us. So they were staying home working, but they were working other jobs, getting paid a lot of money, perhaps. We offered deferred resignation buyouts to all federal workers, resulting in more than 75,000 bureaucrats voluntarily surrendering their taxpayer-funded jobs. A lot of them are leaving because they don't want to be caught having the second job. Some are leaving because they didn't want to be in government any longer. And some are leaving because they didn't want to show up to work. They wanted to work outside of an office. And that's never going to work for anybody, including companies. Companies ought to get smart. You watch these companies where they do that. They start going bad. Nobody knows what's wrong with this company. Well, try getting the people back into the office where they can be cohesive and together. In less than a single month, the Department of Government Efficiency has already saved over this is just a short period of time, $55 billion. And we're just getting started. That's nothing compared to the numbers that you're talking about, right? We're ending trillions of dollars in waste, and it'll mean much lower inflation, lower interest rates, lower payments on mortgages, credit cards, car loans, and much higher.
Thank you for the $5 super chat,
Benji.
Benji.
Be great. In other words, we will rapidly grow our economy by dramatically shrinking the federal government, and we have to do it. I'm also taking fast action to end the radical left's nation-wrecking crusade against oil and natural gas. Over the past 4 years, the Biden administration cut the number of new oil leases and gas leases by 95%. They slowed new pipeline. I mean, look at Dakota Access, they wanted that one knocked out. The Keystone Pipeline, they wanted that one knocked out. They ended the Keystone. We got the Dakota Access done, but it wasn't easy after they tried to stop it. They slowed new oil and gas pipeline construction to virtually a halt. They shut down 38% of active oil and gas rigs in the United States, but they love the wind turbines. They go round and round and round, and if the wind doesn't blow, they got problems. They kill all the birds. They ruin the sight lines. They ruin the plains and the beautiful areas of our country, including the oceans, the lakes. They closed more than 50 power plants, all causing energy prices to skyrocket. You saw that happen.
Benji, you're figuring out the game.
These policies were so destructive that despite draining nearly 40% of U.S. strategic petroleum reserve meant for emergencies, it was meant for emergencies. It wasn't meant for getting a price of gasoline down so that you can win an election. It didn't work for winning the election. Actually, there's so many people that are driving that it's a very small number, just had a very small effect, but in the meantime, it takes it down. We'll fill it up fast, but it's at the lowest level. When we made the transition, it was at the lowest level in history ever recorded. It's the lowest level. Nobody's ever seen it that way. They put it all out because they thought they could keep gasoline prices down a little bit, just go past the election, and after that, they didn't care. And it didn't work because they didn't get elected. I got elected. But the price of gasoline still rose over 35%, and in some cases, at some periods, it was 100% and 125% during certain periods of time. Under the Trump administration, we have implemented a very different plan. You probably heard of it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill.
Drill, baby, drill.
And we're doing it.
Yes, everyone clap.
The world runs on low-cost energy, and energy-producing nations like us
this is a long briefing.
Nothing to apologize for. We have more energy than any other nation in the world, and we're going to use it. And we're going to use it on AI plants. I was telling some of the people that came in that, they're very interested. Everybody's talking about AI. I hope you're right. I don't know. Who knows? But Elon, are they right? Are they right in going they are all in for AI? But the problem is, to do it, just in our country, you need twice the electricity just to open up and be the top of AI. You need twice the
Benji
electricity
with a
that we have right now in
$50
the
super
entire
chat.
country. If you take all of the electricity,
Thank you very much.
more than twice. You need twice. You need double what we have right now just to fuel this new industry that's growing. I was amazed when I heard that number, and they all said, "How can we do this?" Because in China and various other places, you can probably get it with the shake of a hand. But in our country, you can't. But now you can because we've
I'm just letting Trump talk, so
national emergency in order
I'll have to read that in a minute.
Fast approvals, and we're going to have. If you build a plant, you're able to build an electric generating facility right next to your plant. So you'll be making your own. You won't have to count on utilities. You won't have to count on an old grid that could fail, could get hit by something, bad things or good things. But you're not going to have to. You're not going to have to worry about grids. You're not going to have. You'll build your plant, and you'll build your. Essentially, you'll become a utility in a way. You build your own electricity. If you want to build extra and put it out and get paid for that, you're going to be able to do that. You could put it back into the grid, but you're going to be able to build with your plant a generating facility. And we're going to get you Lee Zeldin, head of the environment, head of environmental. The environmental group, various groups, and we've got them unified now, but we're going to get you very fast approvals, and they'll be approved so fast your head will spin, and we're going to get that whole industry started, and we're going to be the head of it. We're leading right now. We have the greatest brain power. We're leading right now, and I expect that we're going to be leading by a lot, but we're going to get you the energy very, very quickly. That would be the one thing that everybody was concerned. How do we have that much electricity when Los Angeles has blackouts and brownouts right now, and there's a lack of electricity, but we're going to get it at levels never seen before. I ended.
We need more power for the AI.
Ridiculous Green New Scam.
Green New
tens of
Scam.
billions of dollars of wasteful deficit spending.
Love
and I
that.
withdrew the United States from the unfair, one-sided Paris Climate Accord, and I ended Joe Biden's insane electric vehicle mandate because it was just insane.
Yeah, forcing it is
I
stupid.
repealed
Let people
the
choose.
And by the way, if you want to buy an electric car, it's great. If you want to buy a gasoline-driven car or a hybrid, it's great.
Freedom, rights.
Whatever the
Hell yeah, thank you.
whatever the thing happens to be. I heard hydrogen's hot. The problem is when it's not, you're in
Hella
big
rights.
trouble. Because when that sucker blows up, they don't find the body. So that's one that I said, you know what?
How
let's
many
take a
rights should
pass
we
on
give the
that one.
people?
They said it's good, but when it's bad, it's really bad. You find
Hella
the bodies
rights.
on trees on the side of a tree. I said, I think we'll pass on that one, right? We're not going to want that one. But you never know.
Thanks,
Maybe someday
Jonathan.
It'll be good, but it doesn't sound like it's off to a good start. I repealed the last administration's very destructive natural gas export ban. And last week we approved our first new liquefied natural gas export license. And we have literally hundreds of people that want to export. I recently met with the Japanese Prime Minister, Shiba, to discuss large increases in American oil and gas exports. They want it so badly. They said we went to the Biden administration, they wouldn't sell it. They wouldn't sell it. Nobody knows why. Biden didn't know why either. They asked him, I don't know. He wanted to oh, I didn't know that. But we're going to sell it. And the new project in Alaska is going to feed all of Asia. We're going to take care of all of Asia. We have so much oil and gas, like very few people, like very few countries have, like really actually no country has. I also met with Prime Minister Modi of India, who wants to greatly expand India's purchase of American energy. And my administration has also launched the most aggressive deregulation program of any nation in history. Under my executive order, for every one new regulation added, 10 old regulations have to be eliminated.
I'm all about that so much, dude. That makes so much sense to me. And just get rid of
And you know,
retarded
our
ones,
first
not the ones
term,
that we
which
need.
was
Get rid of the ones we
actually
don't
an
need.
incredible success. We had
Duh.
the greatest economy in history until COVID, and even after that, we did great. The stock market was higher. If you think of it, it was higher after the fact. After we went through that whole thing, it was higher than it was just prior to COVID coming in, which is a pretty amazing thing. But we did a great job on that, but it was a terrible thing for the world. The whole world suffered. It suffered terribly, including China, including other countries. It was a terrible period of time. But despite that, we did well. But we had the greatest economy in the history of our country. And I think this time we're going to do even better. We were artificially hurt by COVID. We had to focus on that instead of focusing on, but just prior to COVID coming in, there's never been anything like what we did, what we achieved. And even after, we did very well, and especially considering what all of us had to do with COVID. Some nations were hit so badly, it's just unbelievable what happened to them. As part of our effort, I've signed executive orders to keep the United States at the forefront of artificial intelligence and to end Joe Biden's war on Bitcoin and crypto. We ended that war totally.
Let's be competitive. I'm all about it.
They were very hostile toward them until the very end, just because there's so many people on Bitcoin and crypto that just before the end, the SEC came out and they were being very nice. I was so nice to people because so many people were being indicted for no reason whatsoever. Very political group of people. That's all they did was they liked indicting people. But they were being indicted, and many of those indictments were dropped just before the election because they said, wait a minute, there's 100 million, 125 million people using this, and they didn't want to have, you know, all these people being voted against. But
a new follower.
By the time they did that, it was too late. We had that vote entirely.
This is good Red Bull. Thanks for the follow.
Smart that believed in that, and there were a lot of people believing it. Anybody that was smart voted for Trump. And they pulled the indictments. And I see people that were indicted. I said, I saved your life. I saved your life. Because if they thought that, they actually thought that I was doing it, they said, why is Trump doing it? Is he doing it for political reasons? I don't do anything for political reasons. I do what's right. I want to be in the forefront of every industry. So I'll be working with the Republican Congress to pass the largest tax cuts in American history. And that includes, obviously, that includes we have to extend the Trump tax cuts, which were, until now, the largest. We're going to dramatically cut taxes for families and for workers and for companies, including no tax on tips and hopefully no tax on Social Security and no tax on overtime. And that overtime one is a sleeper because I think a lot of people are going to be spurred on to do a lot of extra work. When they hear that,
dude, that's going to be.
Companies really like it, and a lot lot of really like it.
It's a better incentive to work harder.
Tax cuts will also include 100% expensing for
Let's see if it happens.
Factory construction in the United States and anything else that you're going to buy with capital. If you buy something that is going to be good for our country, we're going to let you expense it, 1 year expense. And I did that the first time, and everybody was saying, can you go back to that? Now you still get, I guess, 40% or whatever, but it, you know, pares down. But we're going to bring that right up to the top level. I think that had a lot to do with the success that I had during my first term. And we'll substantially cut taxes for all domestic producers of oil and gas and just about everything else that they produce. In my first term, I brought the business tax down from around 40% to 21%, which everybody said was an impossible thing to do. I cut it from 40. It actually was state and city was much higher than 40, but I got it down to 21%, and now I'm bringing it down to a goal of 15%, but only if you make your product in America. In other words, you're going to be at 21%, but if you make your product in America, you're going to go from 21 to 15. If you don't, you're going to pay 21%, which is still lower than anything. So
Bro,
guys like Elon,
my tips when I'm live.
Cars in the
No
United
tax?
States.
No taxi?
What?
I was just saying. Wait, I'm just now thinking about that.
They called me, three of the majors, they called and they said,
yeah, what about streamers?
Looking all over the place. We want to be there. I'm going to be announcing tariffs on cars and semiconductors and chips and pharmaceuticals, drugs and pharmaceuticals and lumber probably and some other things over the next month or sooner. And it's going to have a big impact on America. We're bringing our businesses back. If they don't make their product in America, then they very simply, they have to pay a tariff. But if they do make their product in America, they don't have to pay any tariff, which will bring, it's all going to bring trillions of dollars into our treasury, or it's going to mean that there won't be any taxes because we want to have a fair base. If they don't have it, we don't have it. If they don't pay, if they don't charge us, we don't charge them. It's pretty simple. The Republican Party is once again the party of common sense. We're a party of common sense. We want strong borders. We don't want men playing in women's sports. We don't want to have transgender for everybody. We're the party of common sense. That's how we won the election.
Exactly.
In such a big manner.
The lefties don't even want to admit it, bro. Make more sense. You'll have more support. Make more sense. Do it. Challenge you. Make more sense, please.
Imposing reciprocal tariffs on any country that engages in unfair and unequal trading practices. If they tariff us, as I said, we will tariff them at the exact same rate. So if a certain country, because some of these countries, even countries that I've already mentioned, are extremely aggressive with tariffs. Nobody knows that. European Union, they have a VAT tax that's devastating. It's very tough for people on the outside. Hard to sell cars. Really impossible to sell them because they also have non-monetary
thanks for the
tariffs that are very, very tough.
I read it.
Take a look at that. It's a very unfair situation. And the VAT tax is similar to the tariff. Around the world, I'm moving quickly to end wars, settle conflicts, and restore the planet to peace. I want peace, and I don't want to see everybody being killed. And you take a look at the death in the Middle East and the death that's taking place between Russia and Ukraine. It's been going on, and we're going to end it. There's no profit for anyone in having World War III, and you're not so far away from it, I'll tell you right now.
I want to have a conversation. The man's talking.
If you would have had this administration for another year, you would have been in World War III, and now
live.
It's not going to happen. In the Middle East, I've restored my policy of maximum pressure on Iran, designed to bring peace.
Thanks, Benji, for the other 5.
The Houthis, a terrorist organization.
We could talk about all this after.
Destroying shipping lanes all over the place, making it very hard for people to get their product delivered, making it very difficult, but we'll take care of that situation. And we've secured a ceasefire in Gaza, and we're bringing in the hostages, and we're bringing them home to their families. Some of them are in pretty bad shape, I have to tell you. To end the horrible war in Ukraine, I have spoken with President Putin and President Zelensky, and our teams began negotiations this week in Saudi Arabia. I want to thank Saudi Arabia for that. That was so great. Yeah. And I want to thank, in particular, I mean, we have so many of the people, Yasser, Mohammed, all the people.
Thanks for the 5, Benji, and I agree with that.
But in particular, we have to
I
thank
agree with what you're saying.
Prince
That's a good
Mohammed
question.
bin Salman for hosting these historic talks. And talks that went very, very well. Steve was there, Steve Witkoff was there, and Michael was there, Michael Waltz and others, and they really went well. It's a big step. We got to get that war over with. You have to see the people that are dying. I look at the pictures, the satellite pictures of the field. It's a level field, and it looks like a modern-day version of Gettysburg, and you know what that means. It is just carnage. It's horrible. And, you know, it's not American soldiers. It's not even soldiers from the Middle East in the case of Ukraine, Russia, but it's people, it's young people from Russia and Ukraine mostly that are just being decimated. It's flat fields, and a bullet goes.
He's going to start talking shit on Zelensky. Let's see.
And the level of people being killed in that battle, soldiers, young soldiers, in some cases old soldiers, because they're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers, one case. But think of it, a modestly successful comedian, President Zelensky, talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that basically couldn't be won, that never had to start and never would have started if I was president. Never even a chance.
He's going to say that 10 more times this speech,
never would have started. But a war that he, without the U.S. and Trump, will never be able to settle. They'll never settle that war without our involvement. That's why they did such a great job this week.
Never would have started if I was president.
Great job this week.
You love saying that.
The United States has spent $200 billion more than Europe, and Europe's money is guaranteed. They get their money back. It's a form of a loan. Nobody knows that. I know that. I said, why isn't somebody saying, you know, we do it the same way? And we spent much more money. We have to equalize. But while the United States gets nothing back, so they get their money back. It's a loan. We just give our money. And we had a deal based on rare earth and things, but they broke that deal. But they broke it 2 days ago. We had a deal because I said, we're spending $350 billion, and Europe gets their money back in the form of a loan, and we don't. We're just giving the money hand over fist. That's the Biden administration for you. but they're no longer dealing with the same United States as they were dealing with a few months ago. Why didn't crooked Joe Biden demand equalization, and that this war is far more important to Europe than it is to us, and that there's a very big, beautiful ocean, a separation? This is, we're helping Europe. We're trying to help Europe. On top of this, Zelensky admits that half of the money that we sent them is missing. They don't know where the money is. He said, well, we don't know where half of it is. That's great, wonderful. He refuses to have elections. It's low in the real Ukrainian polls. I mean, how can you be high with every city is being demolished? It's hard to be high. Somebody said, oh, no, his polls are good. Give me a break.
Thanks for the 5, Benji.
Every city is being demolished. They look like a demolition site, every single one of them. And the only thing he was really good at was playing Joe Biden like a fiddle. He played him like a fiddle. That's an expression we use, yes, sir, to say that he's pretty easy, pretty easy. A dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast, or he's not going to have a country left. Got to move fast, because that war is going in the wrong direction. In the meantime, we're successfully negotiating an end to the war with Russia. Something I'll admit that only Trump is going to be able to do in the Trump administration. We're going to be able to do it.
I love when he talks about himself in third person, bro. It's so
Biden
funny.
Never tried.
It's so
Europe has failed to bring peace. And
arrogant
Zelensky probably
in a good way.
Maybe he wants to keep the gravy train going. I don't know what's the problem, but he hasn't.
I love it.
That he wasn't invited. He could have come if he wanted to, but that he wasn't invited to Saudi Arabia. But he's been working for 3 years. There's never been even meetings or phone calls to stop this war. It's a horrible thing. I figure Russia's lost 900,000 soldiers. I think that Ukraine's lost probably 700,000. And it's a terrible thing. You'll see bodies and body parts all over the field, all over. We see
how much longer are we going to do that, I don't know. What's going on with that shit, man?
I love Ukraine, but Zelensky has done a terrible job. His country is shattered. And millions and millions of people have unnecessarily died. And you can't bring a war to an end if you don't talk to both sides. You got to talk.
Trump doesn't like Zelensky now.
3 years.
It's not being cooperative, I'm sure.
We hope to see a ceasefire soon and to reestablish stability in Europe and the Middle East.
If you don't do what Trump says, he will shit talk you, and I think that's what's happening with Zelensky. He's not taking the deal or whatever. It's just pissing Trump off.
I hope that my greatest legacy will be as a peacemaker and a unifier. That would be a great legacy. So in conclusion, the golden age of America is upon us, and I'm inviting everyone here today and every citizen across our land to take part in the most extraordinary period of peace, prosperity, growth, innovation, wealth creation, and expansion the world has ever seen. We're on our way. I mean, everyone's talking about us. 3 weeks. We're in there for a couple of days more than 3 weeks, and everyone's talking about it. You have to see the crowds of people outside. It's pretty amazing what's happening. We're on the verge of soaring markets, surging incomes, booming production, groundbreaking technologies, thrilling discoveries, and a quantum leap in the quality of life. Absolutely a quantum leap. One day, very soon, our country will have the greatest economy in the history of the world because we once again have a president who puts America first, and we put America first, and your country should put your country first. But in the end, we want America first, and when it's all beautiful, which it's going to be pretty soon, we want to help other countries, and you want to help other countries. But, I tell your leaders, and some of the leaders are in this room right now, you got to put your country first. Whether
Gaza,
it's Saudi Arabia, whether it's something else, you got to put your country first.
It's going to be
we're going to have plenty of
New
left over
Vegas
to help others also.
Hear me out.
As long as you invest in America, build in America, and hire in America, that means that I'm fighting for you. I am fighting very hard for you. Together, we're going to make the United States of America bigger, better, bolder, richer, and greater than ever before. It's going to be stronger than ever before. We're going to be a peacemaker and a peacekeeper. We're going to stop people from
Gulf of America.
these stupid,
What kind of question is that? Of course,
we're
Gulf
not
of
going to
America.
take them ourselves, but we'll be stronger and more powerful than anybody by far. And if it ever came to war, there is nobody that will be able to come close to us. But we don't think that's going to ever happen. So I want to thank you all very much. It's a great honor to be here. And I think somebody said they're going to ask questions. And I didn't say, gee, what are the questions like Biden does? I say, just ask. It doesn't matter. You ask a question and I give an answer. So I think, Richard, you're going to come up and you're going to give me some questions. Thank you very much.
There we go. Yeah. He just answers questions. Everyone loves that.
Please, a round of applause for the President of the United States.
The president. Yes. I just love that he fucking talks to us. Right? My favorite is when he just answers questions. I start falling asleep during speeches sometimes. When he just answers questions.
Thank you for accepting to take a few questions. 20 years ago, I don't know if you will remember, we were under the same roof in Orlando, and you were delivering an amazing speech in front of 3,000 sales reps, giving them the best advice to be successful. So what is the best piece of advice that you have ever received?
Well, I think it was watching my father. You know, my father was a very hard worker, and he just worked hard. And he was very smart. He had good genetics. His brother was the longest-serving professor in the history of MIT, Dr. John Trump. And my father was every bit as smart. But my father had to work. He was older, and he put his brother through school. In fact, he once said, boy, I put him through so much school. He had 3 different degrees. And they asked him to stay on at MIT. But my father was the same ilk. And I noticed that my father was a happy man. And what he did is he
Benji,
worked.
thanks for the $50 super chat.
Worked. And he loved it. And really, I think the best piece of advice I got from that is you have to love what you do. And if you love what you do, you're going to have a happy life. If you don't, I mean, I see so many people, they're in businesses that they don't want to be in. They're in businesses that, you know, they're bored in or they're not good at. They don't have a natural ability at it. There is such a thing as natural ability, whether it's sports or acting or anything else. I mean, some people have an ability for something. Try and find that ability. But you have to love what you do. If you love what you do, you're going to be, at least you have a good chance of being successful.
Mr. President, it's almost time for an early dinner. So if you are throwing a dinner party and you can invite 3 fascinating guests, living or dead, who would you bring?
Well, they're all sitting right in the front row. Yes, sir. Are you ready? Mohammed, are you ready? Steve Witkoff, and we have the most important person, at least until the World Cup is over, is here. Johnny, stand up. He gave the United States the World Cup.
Elon didn't get picked.
Thank you very much. I didn't know you were here.
You didn't pick Elon.
The king of soccer. That's not bad.
The hell?
And you've done a fantastic job. You know, but it's very interesting. When I was president, I got the World Cup.
Benji, thank you for the $5 super chat. You're insane.
You know, we have the 250 anniversary, so that fell in this administration. That's a big deal, 250 years. But we have all of these things happening.
Elon's butthurt. Yep.
The Olympics, and I was called by the mayor of Los Angeles, sir.
Elon's going to go talk shit about those guys on X now.
Because it was at that time President Obama will not take their phone call, and we're going to get the Olympics in Los Angeles. And by the way, they've recommitted to Los Angeles at a level that, you know, I was very worried about that. And they've the opposite. You know, somebody could have said, well, we're going to do it someplace else, until they have actually recommitted. They're going to make it bigger and better than ever. So I want to let you know that. But I had the Olympics. So I got the Olympics, I got the World Cup, and I said, and the 250, but that one I didn't get. But it was there. It was in this term. And I ran an election, and we did fantastic in 2016. We did much better, millions and millions, tens of millions, but millions and millions of votes better. And bad things happened, and I didn't get that one. And I said, you know, when I originally signed the Olympics, I said, I won't be able to even be president. And I got the Olympics, because if I didn't, when I spoke with the people, the organizing committee and the people in different parts of the world, they asked me to do it because the president wouldn't do it. I was president-elect, and I gave them a talk. I couldn't get them off the phone. They were starving for love. And the bottom line, they gave us the Olympics. And I said, you know, isn't it sad I won't be president? Then we had the election result, and now I'm president for the Olympics and for the World Cup. So I'm very happy about that, Johnny. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll be there. I promise I'll be there.
And by the way, Mr. President, backstage you have a gift from Johnny. He gave us the first ball with your name, which will be played for the World Cup in America.
It's going to be great. Thank you, Johnny, very much.
I doubt that any day you will take a sabbatical year, but if you could take a sabbatical year, Mr. President, what unconventional thing would you do?
What was the word?
Sabbatical. You don't work for 1 year.
I thought you said Sabbath. It's a big difference. It's almost the opposite when you think about it, right? I think what I do is, look, what I'm doing now is the most exciting job in the world. It's a hard job, not an easy job. It's a
Dude, I
nasty
bet that
job.
shit is exciting.
It could be a lot easier with, I think that the news media has to straighten themselves out because people are getting it. They're losing tremendous popularity and they've lost their prestige and they've lost their credibility.
Trying to tell everyone what to think.
I
Psyop
think
everybody. They need to stop that
the
shit.
news media, but I think they have to straighten themselves out because the people are going around them now. They have so many different things with like Elon with X, which was a big thing, and we have Truth, which has been fantastic, and we have so many other things that you don't really need traditional. But I will tell you that there is just nothing I could do to enjoy my life, whether it's that or anything else that you'd ask, because this is the ultimate. I mean, I had to make a big decision, and it was a very risky decision, because if I would have lost, my life would have been a much different life. It would have been a very nasty life. They were going after me at levels that nobody's ever seen before. Not Andrew Jackson, not Abraham Lincoln. The historians say that the president that was treated the worst by far by the media and overall was Andrew Jackson. In fact, his wife died of heartbreak. They were treated really rough. And Abraham Lincoln was second, but he had a civil war. You can understand that.
Yeah.
But nobody was treated like me. Nobody. And
I kind of have to agree, dude.
You learn a lot about yourself.
We all seen it.
But there's nothing I'd
It's
rather
gnarly.
do. I had to make a
The media is
decision, do I do
insane.
this? Because if I lost, it would have been very, very.
Thank you for the $2
it
super
was
chat
dangerous.
and the
It
$5
was
super
very
chat, Benji.
dangerous in so many different ways. And I decided to do it. And I said, I have to win, because if I don't, when I spoke to a friend of mine the other night, he said, if you lost, it would have been it was actually Sean Hannity just before we did the interview last night. He said, boy, if you would have lost, you would have had a tough life. You would have had a very tough life. So there was a certain amount of courage involved in this decision to run. And it's a great honor to win by this much, to win all 7 swing states, the popular vote. Popular vote doesn't get won that much by Republicans for whatever reason. I think that's changing because, again, we're the party of common sense, and they're the party of some real bad things. And I think they'll change. I think they have to change. It would be wonderful. I'm going to be having lunch with some of the Democrats next week, and it would be wonderful if we could work together.
Yeah.
I think working together would be great.
Facts.
But they have to change. You can't get elected on the programs that they want.
No, they got to
That's
step it the fuck
that's
up.
really what America wants to see. So
Yeah, it's
there's
true.
nothing I'd rather do than what I'm doing right now.
When we started this conference, Mr. President, when we started this conference, Yasser and I, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince told us, I want that to be the place where people will come to understand where to invest in terms of geographies and sector. So what is the best investment you have made in your personal growth, Mr. President?
Well, I was involved in real estate from, most of my life. And it was, guys like Witkoff will tell you I was really good at it. And I was successful at it, very successful at it. I've been involved in things prior to being president, but during the last 4 years, I followed sort of the trends, and I've made a lot of money with following some of these trends. And, it's, again, it's something that you do. I really believe that some people have instinct. I think I've always had an instinct for making money. I make money. And
Make that money.
I had one of the most successful shows on television. I wrote books, and they were all bestsellers. Virtually every book was a big bestseller, some really big bestsellers. And
What's up, James?
I don't know, it's whatever I
I'll
do,
play
I
chess.
just want to make it successful. It's very important to me. There are many ways to make money. You can be in many different fields. And a lot of them is being in the right country. If you're in a certain country, our country is actually getting very bad, a very dangerous place, actually. Bad things were happening. But if you're in a certain country, you have a chance to do well. And no matter how good you are, if you were born into the wrong country, you're not going to make money. Now, you can do other things. You can attain power, I guess. Maybe it's the wrong kind of power, but it's power. But being in the right country where you have the right incentives and, entrepreneurship, et cetera, and America has always been sort of at the top, or one of the top, but always pretty much at the top. But it was losing that position, and I think losing it rapidly. This last administration, look, I don't want to be. I wish I could say I wouldn't have run if I thought Biden was doing a good job. If I thought I wouldn't have run. Because, as I said, it was very dangerous to run in a lot of ways. In fact, my ear will show that when you look at it closely. My ear, I have that throbbing feeling every once in a while, but it was dangerous in a lot of different ways. But he was so bad that I had no choice but to do it. If I thought he was doing a great job, I wouldn't have run, and I would be very happy. I actually wanted him to do a good job. I was saying, do this, do that. I'm telling them, do things. They should have done what I said.
Dude, Trump's live stream in a long time today.
I would have been very happy not to have run, and frankly, to have seen somebody do a good job. But
hell yeah,
our country was going to hell, and I really sort of had to run.
If you were a historical ruler, would you prefer to rule during war or peace?
Well, I want to be, again, a peacemaker, and I want to keep us out of war, but sometimes to do that, you have to have a very strong country. You have to have a very strong military. And as I said, we have a much stronger military than anyone would know. We have the best equipment, and I bought a lot of it. I rebuilt our military in the first 4 years. I rebuilt it. We gave a lot of it away to Afghanistan, to the Taliban, stupidly, but that's a very small amount relative. It was billions and billions, but it's still a very small amount relatively to what we built. But I rebuilt.
Benji, if you keep saying fucking Jew shit in my chat, you're gonna get banned. You won't be able to fucking say anything to anybody anymore. And that's the last time I'm going to say that.
But to keep peace, you really have to. I have a thing, strength through, and I mean it. You really have it. You have strength, and you need the strength, but it's really peace through strength, because without the strength, it's going to be very hard to have peace, because you're going to be taken over, bad things are going to happen. So you really want to have peace through strength, and that's where I've done it. Having strength, having power in that sense to protect yourself and your people is a very important thing. Hopefully you don't have to use that power. I would tell you, I was dealing with President Putin very successfully on denuclearization. We were talking about it very seriously.
A new follower.
And then COVID came and lots of things came.
Thanks for the follow, Nova.
We talked to China about it. Now, Russia and us have the biggest nuclear by far. China is not close, but they will be close. In 3 or 4 years or 5 years, they'll be equal. But we were going to talk to China, and I spoke to President Xi about it very successfully. I think we were going to denuclearize it. We would have had to get the smaller nuclear powers, of which there are 4, 3 maybe, but 4 probably, to do something. We would have been able to do that. But I was having very strong talks with President Putin about denuclearization. And
this is a good thing.
You're president, you get presentations about what we're building, what we're having, the power of weapons, the power of many things besides weapons per se. When I saw the power of nuclear weapons, and
it's disturbing how powerful it is.
If that happens, the ball game will be, the world will be destroyed. The power is so enormous. You look at Hiroshima,
Benji, if you're just going to spend money and complain about Jews, I'm just going to shut you off. That's it. There's not a debate.
And
that's it.
The world would be destroyed.
Stop complaining about fucking Jews. Shut the fuck up.
Or you want somebody as your leader that understands that. We just can't let that happen. We can't let other countries get nuclear weapons. Not only Iran. Iran is a good example and maybe the one that people think about, but we can't let that happen. The power of weaponry today is so enormous that the world would disintegrate, so we can't let it happen.
Mr. President, if you had to describe United States of America in just 3 words, what would they be?
In 3 words?
3 words.
Love, respect, and strength.
Strength.
That's a tough question.
That's a good answer.
That might be my best answer, Yasser.
Yeah, that was good.
That reminds
Everyone
me
clap.
of high school, that one. But
everyone stand the fuck up and clap right now. I don't care if you're a lefty. Just clap anyways. Everyone clap.
I don't think so.
Brittany's
We're
clapping.
almost at the end, Mr. President, but talking about United States of America, what is one...
No booing. It's not allowed. I said you had to clap, bro.
In the U.S.
The hell? You're not listening.
That the rest
Damn lefties, you're not listening. You're not clapping, bro. What the fuck? It's against the rules.
Well, I think we love our families, but I think a lot of the world loves their families. You know, I was speaking to the head of Mexico because I complain constantly about people pouring in. Now our border is the strongest border we've ever had. We've gone from the worst border ever in history to the strongest border. But I was speaking to the president of Mexico, a very wonderful woman, actually. And I said, we were talking about drugs. You can't let people come through your country and come into the country. You know, I was not that nice, but they understood what I was saying. And she said something that really got me. She said, I said, you're not a big drug taking nation? And she said, no, we are not a consumer. And I said, a consumer, what an interesting word. We're not a consumer nation. We're not a consumer of drugs. I said, what an interesting, and why is that? She said, well, we have very strong family values. I said, but we do too. We do too. We have very strong, our families are devastated by what's happening with fentanyl, and China will not be doing, we're going to make a deal with China. They were not letting that happen anymore. And I had a deal, by the way, before I left. I had a deal with President Xi where they were going to give the maximum penalty to anybody making fentanyl and sending it into the United States. And their maximum penalty is the death penalty, and it would have stopped. But when the election turned out to be a rigged election, but that's okay. When an election turned out to be, it was an election that shouldn't have happened. All the things that happened. I'll give you an example. We wouldn't have had October 7th, Israel attack. We wouldn't have had Ukraine and Russia fighting. We wouldn't have had inflation. We wouldn't have had all of these things that, happened. But in speaking with her, she said about family values, I said, well, you're not really saying anything there because we have great families too. We have great family values. She said, plus we advertise a lot. I said, ooh, you mean you advertise about how bad drugs are? Yes, we do. We spend a lot of money on advertising. And I said, unbelievable. That was such a great conversation because we're going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars advertising how bad drugs are so that kids don't use them, that they chew up your brain, they destroy your teeth, your skin, your everything. And I thanked her for that. I make so many calls and I never learn anything from anybody. I know everything and I never learn anything from anybody. And I spoke to this woman. As soon as she said it, she didn't have to say exactly what. I said, exactly. What a great idea. And I think we're going to have, and I saw pieces of it, we're going to go in with $100 million and then another $100 million initially. But I saw some of the ads and they are really violent. I said, you have to make them strong. Your skin practically comes off after a period of time. You lose your hearing. You lose your teeth. It is terrible. And we show this happening to people. And I think we're going to, we did very well with, we had blue ribbon committees headed up by the First Lady of the United States and a lot of other people that, they have no idea the viciousness of these cartels and these people. And they're smarts. They're very smart, tough people, making a fortune, by the way, an absolute fortune. But we got it down 18%, which was a record. But 18% is not great when you think about it. I think we could get it down 50 or 55 or maybe even 60% with advertising. So she really gave me something. I was going to call her and tell her that she did, but now I don't have to call her because she's going to be seeing this right now. So to the President of Mexico, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But we're going to do a great advertising campaign saying how bad it is, how drugs are so bad for you.
Drugs are bad, okay?
My last question, Mr. President.
Yeah, dude.
You have mentioned
drugs are
briefly
bad.
in your speech about the legacy. What
Some
would
good
you
Red
like
Bull.
your legacy to be, if you can tell us more about it?
Legacy.
That I came into a country that was great, but is in trouble. And I made America great again, and I got it out of trouble, and people respect America now, and we were a country of peace, and we brought peace to the rest of the world.
I think it's a good answer.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Oh, we get copyrighted. We have to turn it down. There he goes, bro. Yes, dude. Stanimus, thank you for not being a butthurt lefty. You do promote freedom of speech and your live streams, and for that I salute you. Yes, and now we can talk about things. Because I didn't want to interrupt Trump, so a lot of people are like, you're not responding. You don't want to talk about it. It's like, bro, the man's talking, and it's fucking live, dude. It's live. Dude, do the Trump dance, Elon. No, we can just do Trump dance. There we go. Elon is so awkward, man. Oh my God. I love Elon. He just is an awkward guy. Boo, boo. Hey, you can boo all you want. You're allowed to here, okay? You could talk shit, whatever. It doesn't bother me. You guys aren't going to get under my skin. And I don't think anybody should let anybody get under your skin, honestly. But whatever, you guys do you.
9. Think of that.
Dude, that was a long ass speech. That was crazy. Yeah, Elon is awkward. But I do love him. I don't care if he's awkward, but I love him anyways. Are those boots tasting like fucking freedom, bro? That's what they taste like. Freedom and mango. Freedom of speech until you dropped threats. No, I'm just saying, no, you are excessively and increasingly getting more ballsy with how you are trying to talk about Jewish people. I was thinking, is this what he's doing? And I was watching you, and then you really just started putting just straight up Jewish flags or whatever the fuck, the little star thing. And I'm like, okay, this guy's just here because he's angry at fucking Jewish people. And he's trying to just donate money and talk shit on them on the stream. And if you're gonna keep doing that, then then I'm just gonna shut it down. Yeah, that's what it's freedom of speech. But if you're fucking talking about a group of people on the stream that's against TOS, I'll get fucking banned. What do you want me to, like? You even said it from the beginning. You were sort of like, I don't want to say something, but you'll get banned. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know exactly what the fuck you're doing. Called out in front of everybody, bro. You know exactly what you're doing. Stop playing games with me, okay? You can say whatever you want, just don't fucking say stupid shit about fucking Jewish people, bro. That's it. You want to complain about Jews? Go somewhere else. All right? It's against the fucking rules on YouTube. Straight up. If we want to be here on this platform, they own it. It belongs to them. They make the rules. They said you can't talk that way here, so don't fucking do it on my stream. Simple as that, bro. Like, this is reality. Stop trying to dance around the rules because you don't think they're fair. I don't give a fuck about that. I want to exist here on YouTube. Okay? I want to be here on YouTube. So I'm going to follow YouTube's fucking rules. And that's the way it is. You go in someone's house, you follow the house fucking rules, or you get kicked the fuck out. Okay? We're in YouTube's house. And I'm just saying, okay? It's not me fucking silencing you. I'm literally following YouTube's rules. You want to go hate on fucking Jews? Go on X. Okay? They'll let you do that there. That's their fucking, they allow it. They don't allow it here. You want to go do that? That's your right. I would never do that personally. I think that's retarded. But if you want to go do that, go do it on X. They let you. This is facts, okay? This is facts. And stop playing games with me. I'm not fucking stupid. I could see through your bullshit when you're trying to do that. If you want to donate and have everyone see what you have to say, don't hate on minorities or any fucking group of people or in any form, and then we'll be good to go. This isn't a house, it's a public business. It's YouTube's house, and this is my house within YouTube's house. And if so I'm putting my foot down. You can debate all you want. You can think you could disagree with me all you want, but I'm not going to allow that here, period. So if you do another one of those, you want to talk about Jews or whatever, then fucking, you're just going to get banned, and then I won't ever have to deal with it again. Okay? That's it. All right? We're not going to fucking talk about any groups of people like that here. It's against the rules on YouTube, straight up. You want to do that? Go do it on X. That's what it's there for. All right. Now, with that said, there's people that actually have questions and want to talk about stuff. And I wanted to, the irony is wild. It's not ironic. It's very realistic. There's different levels of free speech and different balances of it on all the different platforms. All right. I don't know what this guy, I'm just going to ban you, bro. There we go. Here we go. Bam. All right. Moving on. That's it. Keep donating money, Benji. We loving it. He can't anymore, unfortunately. He called censorship. Yeah, it's whatever, bro. I'm not gonna let someone sit here and argue with me about if they're allowed to complain about Jews nonstop in the chat. Right? It's like, okay, I'm not gonna allow it. All right. There is a line, and we want to exist as a YouTube channel. It's not that fucking complicated. Be realistic and logical. Don't be impossible. Don't be like some of the lefties, right? They're so annoying because they're being impossible, right? Don't be like that. Don't be like that too. Be logical. Be realistic. Be honest. Yeah. That's what we got to do. What if I tip 1 bazillion? How much tax? Like, hey, no tax on tips. You know, someone actually made a comment. They were talking about how streaming and making videos and stuff is not that hard. And I mean, actually, that's true, right? But it's not always true, especially when you're like established as a creator. You get to work as little or as hard as you want. So if you want to work really hard and just bust your ass all the time, which I do, right? I like it. I can. But if I want to just make like fucking 3 YouTube shorts a day and then go fucking, you know, like one free channel. I have 3 different channels. I do 1 free channel, right? Well, if I just do that, then I can just go live on the beach for the rest of my life if I wanted to. But I aspire to bigger things, so I work harder. That's so it's up to you as the creator when you're in this position how hard you want to actually work. It can be a really easy, super Gucci fucking job where you hardly do any work. It can and you still make bank. That is possible. If you want to, you can work harder. And that's what I choose to do. Other people choose not to. They want to just chill and shit. And it's like, whatever path you want. But that is the actual truth, just to be honest. Right? And it makes sense, right? Like, what if you're in this position? You could work harder if you want to. You know? It's up to you. So that's how I see it. What other questions we got? Your profit reflects the work you put in? It depends. Some things are easy, like I know a guy, he runs like 50 YouTube channels and he doesn't do any of the work. What he does is he hires like he's from Vietnam and he moved to America and he's like this hustler. And he goes online and he hires all these like foreign people that are super cheap and he like pays them like nothing. And then they're all doing like one person, their job is to just find Karen videos for one channel. Another guy's job is to like find Reddit stories. And then he like builds these channels around these established niches and he just automates everything. He finds people, gets them for cheap, trains them really well and gives them bonuses if they do a good job. Right. And then he just builds these teams and he's like, all right, you guys handle these 10 channels. You guys handle these 10 channels. And he just like he doesn't even make anything. He doesn't speak very good English. But I met up with this guy. We were talking YouTube. This kid knows fucking YouTube. He's so smart, right? So I'm saying like it depends on. There are ways to make a lot of money on YouTube and not actually work that hard. It can be a really easy cush job. It's the hard part is knowing how to do it. When you know how everything works, and then you can kind of start up like any channel you want because you understand how to make it work and make it go viral. At that point, you could like just pick the easiest things and just do those and make a ton of money doing it. You're one of those guys. Well, I'm making, let's see, 3 shorts a day for 3 different channels. So that's 9 a day, and that's minimum. And we're also making more and getting ahead every day because I have a vacation coming up. Plus, we're doing 2 to 3 long forms a day for this channel that I'm streaming on right now. And we're doing about a long form every day or so. We have enough to do 1 a day. We're just busy for the gaming channel. Plus, I can also fit in a video for my Stanimus channel, which is, I don't know, it's a lot of videos. And then all of those videos are also constantly being uploaded to Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We're doing Rumble now and building that up. It's actually a full-time thing. We have a full team. So, I mean, we show up at 10 a.m. my time in a voice channel in our Discord. We show up and we start working, and we work fucking, I don't know, like 12 hours a day. We work a lot. It's actually, so I don't know, but I choose to do that. I don't have to. I literally could just like bare minimum do a lot of work and I'll still make a ton of money and I'd be fine. I just choose to do more because I'm trying to like build something and it's fun. I like building things. But I could work way easier if I wanted to. So like I'm saying, like being a content creator is fucking easy if you want it to be. And a lot of people do choose it to be, and it is. And you could look at it and be like, that guy barely does anything. And then he gets all these views and stuff. Like, yeah, that's true. There's a lot of people who do that. You know? Dude, you guys are fighting. You guys are fighting to see. James, $2 super chat says your profit reflects the work you put in, and says that's kind of my goal. I want to build a team. That's what I'm getting at. Like, I've been doing really well, and I have the money to pay for a team, but I was scared to do it, so I decided to like not, right? But I recently did. I've been doing it for, I don't know, like 5 months or so, something like that. I'm not sure. And I experimented with it, you know, having full-time guys here and there, all last year as well. And now I'm just like full sending. I have like 2 full-time guys, or three full-time people. And I don't know, it's fun. It's really cool, kind of leading a team, trying to figure out what we're all supposed to be doing. All right, we're gonna get into the next part of this stream. Let me do a stream marker for Gimme. And we are going to talk about these things. Let's see. We have, is DEI actually causing plane crashes? And Elon Musk are now best friends. Okay, I think we need to... Oh my God. Is that 2 of them? Hold on. Ah, this is the one we want. There we go. This is the one we want. Oh, wow. This is like 30 minutes. I guess we could watch this. Guys, this is the... I'm not sure if we'll get hit on this or not with copyright. This is the full 30-minute interview with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And they're like best friends. It's like dating. Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't know. We could watch this. It's 30 minutes.
I got to start with this. So he's working for free with Doge.
For free.
He's kind of put a lot of his life on hold. And you sued Twitter a number of years ago. You just made him pay you $10 million?
That's right. That's right.
Look at Trump's face. He's like, what?
Long before he had it.
Yeah.
And,
Bro,
I mean,
the way
they
he looks
really,
around.
Did a number on me, you know, and I sued, and they had to pay. They paid $10 million settlement.
You're okay with that?
I mean, I left it up to the lawyers and you know, the team running Twitter. So I said, you guys do what you think is the right, it makes sense.
I think it's funny.
I think it's a very low. I was looking to get much more money than that.
So you gave him a discount when the lawsuit.
He got a big discount. I don't think he even knows about it.
These guys are best friends.
If you read and believe the media, he's become one of your best friends. He's working for free for you.
Well, I love the president.
Did we just become best friends?
I don't care about that.
I know, I love the president.
You love the president.
He loves him.
I think President Trump is a good man. And he's...
Bro,
you know,
they're tight.
That's the way he said
It's
that.
funny.
You know,
It's funny, but I love it too.
Because...
They're united, bro.
The president's been so unfairly attacked in the media. It's really outrageous. And I've at this point spent a lot of time with President.
Yeah, bro, that's a good point. 10 million for Musk is like $10 for us.
And not once have I seen him do something that was mean or cruel or wrong. Not once.
You know, I've known him for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anybody
BFFs.
take as much as he's taken.
Yeah.
You guys taking a lot of
And
shit.
we've discussed this, and I'm like, how do you deal with it?
Did I have a choice?
Well, you would say that to me. I'm like, what am I going to do? Worry about it? And, you know, and then culminating in 2 assassination attempts, which resulted in your endorsement.
Well, I was going to do it anyway, but that was
it.
Precipitating event, yeah.
That speeded it up a little bit?
Yeah.
The day of the
I
assassination.
didn't know that.
Yeah. It sped it up, but I was going to do it anyway.
Mr. President, with your
You
indulgence,
gave Trump 200 million? Hell yeah, dude.
I'm
You
convinced
should give me
that
200 million.
people only know a little bit about Elon. I don't think they know everything about Elon, because as I studied and prepared for this interview, I learned a lot about you that I didn't know. I think people will think about Tesla. Democrats are demonizing you and trying to make the country hate you. I just want people to understand you a little bit better, and the person that you've gotten to know and have now put a lot of trust in.
Sure.
And, you know, just let's go over a little bit of your bio, starting with PayPal and how you became involved in Tesla and SpaceX.
I bet Hannity didn't know shit about Elon Musk before. Like, I know like all these companies Elon Musk has been building. I've been following it for years. I'm a big Elon Musk fan. I've been an Elon Musk fan ever since he started like his first successful rocket landing vertically. It blew my fucking mind. And I was like, dude, that's the future. That's crazy. This guy like figured it out and it's smart. Of course, business is the one who's going to figure out how to optimize first faster than fucking government budget.
And
blew my mind.
And all
Take
these.
a while. I mean, you know, I think the way you think of me is like I'm a technologist, and I try to make technologies that improve the world and make life better.
And he does.
Yeah, and that's why like my T-shirt says tech support, because I'm here to provide the president with technology support.
Musky, yeah.
Now that may seem like, well, is that a silly thing? But actually, it's a very important thing.
Can Elon Musk be my dad?
The president will make these executive orders, which are very sensible.
I think I'd rather he be my dad than Trump.
But then they don't get implemented, you know? If you take, for example, all the funding for the migrant hotels, the president issued an executive order where, hey, we need to stop taking taxpayer money and paying for luxury hotels for illegal immigrants, which makes no sense. Like, so obviously, people do not want their tax dollars going to fund high-end hotels for illegals. And yet they were still doing that, even as late as last week. And so, you know, we went in there and we're like, this is in violation of the presidential executive order. It needs to stop. So what we're doing here is one of the biggest functions of the Doge team is just making sure that the presidential executive orders are actually carried out. And this is, I just want to point out, this is a very important thing because the president is the elected representative of the people. So he's representing the will of the people. And if the bureaucracy is fighting the will of the people and preventing the president from implementing what the people want, then what we live in is a bureaucracy and not a democracy.
Bro, Elon Musk is just on point, and I can't believe people are like fighting to keep it this way. We need to make it better, make the government smaller and have less bullshit slowing everything down. I'll tell you a story. When I was in the Marines, we had a budget to get a bunch of furniture for our shitty ass barracks that was falling apart. Right. And this furniture was for like the lounge areas. There's different like lounge areas on the different levels in our barracks. And so they got rid of all this shitty, disgusting old furniture and they bought all this new shit. And it was awesome. Right. But then something happened. We got the budget again. Right. And this is a real story. This is like what the exact thing that I think of every time the subject of optimizing the government comes up and people are arguing against it. They got the budget again. So instead, and if they don't spend it, they lose the money, but they have to spend it only on furniture for the barracks. So what they did is they threw away all the brand new furniture that the first budget gave them and then bought all the same fucking furniture and put it in the barracks. Because if you don't spend it, you lose it. And so their attitude is like, well, the money just came in from fucking magic money land budget, you know, government budget. And if we don't spend it, we lose it. It'll go somewhere else. What's more optimized is for us not to do that and then say, oh, we already bought fucking furniture. Go give that to another unit or something. Okay? Like that's what I'm talking about. So I've seen that firsthand. That's my favorite story of explaining this because like that literally happened. I have one of those pieces of furniture upstairs in my house right now. Yeah, that shit they were throwing away. I stole one of those motherfuckers. They were just gonna throw it away. So I optimized. I'm basically Elon Musk of furniture. It's a one-seater couch. It's fucking comfy. I still have it. But seriously, and now think about it. That's just one like small little artillery battery in the Marines. Imagine the entire military, right? This is it wasn't like, shh, don't tell anybody. It's a big open secret. You can yell it. We're wasting military money. You could say that and no one gives a shit. It's like fucking Jurassic Park, right? So like it's a big open thing. It's like, yeah, well, if we don't spend it, we lose it. And everyone's just like dumb Marines. Okay. We're just like, whatever, makes sense. But so it's not like anything even nefarious. It's just systemic, right? It's really bad spending. And it's not just in the military. That's just one little unit from fucking years ago. This has been happening forever. I bet the whole military is so inefficient and the budgets, if you don't spend it, you lose it. Mentality is everywhere. And it's not even in the military. It's the entire government. If you don't spend it, you lose it. With the budget's there, if we don't take it and give it to somewhere, we're going to lose it. That's the attitude. And this motherfucker, Elon Musk, is coming in and kicking ass and taking names. And anybody that's against that, it's absurd because this is real. This is real. Like they will spend all the fucking money. They will. If you don't stop them, they will keep doing it. You have to go in there and stop them from doing it. That's what he's doing. It's so obvious. There is very obvious government waste, like massive government waste, and there's people taking advantage of it. It's so fucking obvious, and everyone has always believed this. And only until now has anyone on the left like started like saying, "Nuh-uh," right? No, they've always agreed too. Like, what? That's crazy to me. It's only because it's their two arch enemies, Elon Musk and Donald Trump, that are going in and like tightening up the government. That they're so deranged that they're against optimizing the government. It's so absurd. And this is something that many Democratic presidents have also done in the past. It's not just some righty thing. It's not. It's just being weaponized, and people are being fucking psyoped to hate this guy, and it's hilarious. And I think that's one thing that's made Trump and Elon become best friends.
You're both aware, you have to be keenly aware, that the media and the punditry class, not that, I think you've proven they have no power anymore, because they threw everything they had at you, and they didn't win. And that was, the New York Times, Washington Post, 3 networks, every late night comedy show, 2 cable channels. They threw everything, lawfare, weaponization.
Sure.
And now I see they want you two to start, they want a divorce. They want you two to start hating each other. And they try, President Elon Musk, for example. You do know that they're doing that to you.
I love it, President Elon Musk, but the rules are the rules.
It, then they stopped. That wasn't. They have many different things.
Look at Trump's eyes, or Elon's eyes. Watch.
Elon called me. He said, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely. They said, we have breaking news. Donald Trump has ceded control of the presidency to Elon Musk. President Musk will be attending a cabinet meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. And I say, It's just so obvious. They're so bad at it. I used to think they were good at it. They're actually bad at it, because if they were good at it, I'd never be president. Because I think nobody in history has ever gotten more bad publicity than me. I could do the greatest things. I get 98% bad publicity. I could do, outside of you and a few of your very good
Musk 2028. He wasn't born here. It's the rules. We gotta stick to the rules.
What I have learned?
He can't run.
People are smart. They get it.
He could do more not being president anyways.
They really see what's happening.
Yes.
And at the end of this interview,
Why is Trump orange? Because he turns himself orange, bro.
I want people
He just chose to do that shit. I don't know.
And know more about you. What is the relationship, Mr. President?
Well, I respect him. I've always respected him. I never knew that he was right on certain things, and I'm usually pretty good at this stuff. He did Starlink. He did things that were so advanced, and nobody knew what the hell they were.
People do like Vance.
I can tell you in North Carolina, they had no communication. They were wiped out. Those people were, they had rivers in between. Land that never saw water, all of a sudden it was a river and vicious, like rapids. People were dying all over. They had no.
I was actually following this whole situation. There's a really good Twitter account from a guy named Sean Hendricks. He's actually the guy that got me into Beast Games and Brittany into Beast Games. I ended up not going. Brittany went, and she was in there. But yeah, anyways, he used to work for Mr. Beast, and that's how I know him. And I was following him on Twitter, and then he's from North Carolina, and all this stuff happened. And he has been like on the ground, almost like as if this is his, like, I think he's a pretty religious guy. I'm not sure, but this was like his calling. And he came in and he was literally like a hero, an absolute hero in North Carolina, helping people that were having trouble from the floods and all the destruction that came through, and the lack of help from the government and the absolute just fumbling from the North Carolina government. And Elon did come in and give them a bunch of fucking internet that helped them big time. And this guy, Sean Hendricks, I was watching him every day on Twitter. He was showing videos and stuff, and he's like, look at all these Starlinks we got. And he's like setting them up for people. And then he ended up showing people like tutorials, like, here's how you guys set them up. You have to do them this way. And just like, after he got them through to everyone, he like tech supported everybody to help get their internet set up so they can have communication, which is like life-saving, literally. So this is real ass shit. People don't want to admit it. They don't like when Elon Musk helps people and does good things, because then they can't complain about him. Because you can still complain about him. Complain about the things that you don't like, the real things. But if he does something like save fucking lives with giving people internet that are going to fucking die, right? Like, I think that's something that's okay to praise and be like, that's badass. And he did that shit. And he's been offering that in a lot of disaster zones. He's like, when something crazy happens, he's like, bro, I got you guys. I can give you fucking space internet. All right, that'll be super helpful during your disaster, right? And he just fucking gives them that shit. And to be fair, it is great marketing because everyone's going to talk about it. Now, like he literally is just continually to build the space internet. Great marketing. He does benefit from it in the long run, but it doesn't matter. It's helping people.
No communication. They said, "Do you know Elon Musk?" They didn't really know I knew him. I said, "Yeah." He said, "Could you get Starlink?" It's like the first time I ever heard of it. I said, "What's Starlink?" A communication system. That's unbelievable.
I have it.
Yeah. And he said, I called him and I said, "Listen, they really need it." And he got like thousands of units of this communication, and it saved a lot of lives. He got it immediately, and you can't get it. I mean, you have to wait a long time to get it. But he got it to him immediately, and I said, "That's pretty amazing."
I'm live right now. What's
I
up?
didn't even know he had it. We watched the rocket ships, and we watch
Those are
Tesla.
sick.
I think,
Tesla's
something
sick.
that had an effect on me
I
was
want a
when I saw
Tesla.
the
I don't have
rocket
one.
ship come back and get grabbed like you grab a beautiful little baby. You grab your baby. It just
Hug the rocket.
Baby.
Everybody-
I love it.
everybody-
I love the way Trump says that. It's like grabbing a baby. I love the way he says baby. It's so funny.
Hug the rocket and clean rockets.
No, but and he said, you can't really have a rocket program if you're going to dump $1 billion into the ocean every time you fly. You have to save it.
Right.
And he saved it. First time that I've
Never been
ever
done.
seen that done. Now, nobody else can do it. If you look at the U.S.,
Nobody can.
Russia, or China, they can't do it.
Nope.
And they won't be able to do it for a long time.
Yeah.
He has the technology. So you learn, I wanted somebody really smart to work with me in terms of the country, a very important aspect. Because, I mean, he doesn't talk about it. He's actually a very good businessman. And when he talks about the executive orders, and this is probably true for all presidents, you write an executive order and you think it's done. You send it out. It doesn't get done. It doesn't get implemented. They don't implement it. Maybe they're from the last administration, and they are in some cases. You try and get them out as fast as you can. But as soon as he said that, I said, that's interesting. You write a beautiful executive and you sign it and you assume it's going to be done, but it's not. What he does is he takes it, and with his 100 geniuses, he's got some very brilliant young people.
This is really interesting
working for him
part.
that
Listen up.
dress much worse than him, actually.
Yeah,
they dress in just T-shirts. You wouldn't know they have 180 IQ.
Wait a minute. So what he's your tech support.
Check this out.
No, he is.
I actually
But
literally
he's
am
much
tech
more
support.
than that.
I literally am tech support, though. But
He gets it done. He's a leader.
Yeah.
He really is. He gets it done. You get a lot of tech people, and you have people that are good with tech, but he gets it done. I said in real estate, you had guys that would draw beautiful renderings of a building, and they'd draw the rendering, and it would be great, and you say, great, when are you starting? But they were never able to get it built. They couldn't get the financing. They couldn't get the approvals. It would never get done. And then you have other guys that are able to get it done. They could just get it done. I was in real estate. Same thing in this. He gets it done. So when he said that, he said, when you sign these executive orders, a lot of them don't get done, and maybe the most important ones. And he would take that executive order that I'd sign, and he would have those people go to whatever agency it was. When are you doing it? Get it done. Get it done. And some guy that maybe
When are
didn't
you
want to
doing
do
it? I love this
all of a
fucking-
sudden, he's signing. He just doesn't want to be.
Okay, so what he's saying, and this is really important, right? So, who says this? What is he lying about now? Right? He's not lying about anything. He's actually just saying that what Elon is helping him with. So he's saying when he signs an executive order, Elon Musk has his 100 Doge guys like track down all the agencies or whatever government people that need to be contacted in order to make it happen. And what they're doing is they're just hurrying it along. Because the way things work in government is something gets passed down to somebody for them to do, and then it takes forever to get past the next guy. This is how nothing gets done. So what Elon is doing is seeing, oh shit, this is why it's slow, because they're just not moving the paperwork. Okay, let's have our people just force them to continue to move the paperwork and stop making it sit somewhere so it gets done. That's it. That's not a lie. That's them talking about their method of making sure things get done. And it's very simple too. And it's real. That shit actually happens. And you just have to call them and see like, when are you doing this? Or show the fuck up and be like, this right here needs to get done now and not later, not tomorrow, not in 5 minutes, fucking now. And when you do that to people, and if you don't do it now, then you're fired, right? So do it now. Do your fucking job now, not later. The request, since you work here, is to do it now. That's what they're asking for. And when they do that and you track down the pathway that the orders are going in order for them to happen, and you have people constantly pursuing, making sure that it's progressing along, it actually happens. And believe it or not, they did not have that before. So simple. Trump, like Elon Musk, is very simply doing that with his team, and it's just making the executive orders happen faster. But here's the thing that's really interesting to me, right? It's so funny that Elon's doing it. Like, what? I think that's so funny to me. Elon's doing it, man. Like, I thought maybe Trump would have some other hard charger, like military dude or something, like going in and make sure everything's happening. Go, 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 make it happen. But no, he has Trump going in, or he has Elon going in with his team. Doge is doing it. Doge isn't just auditing the government, but they're making sure, and I guess it's the Department of Government Efficiency. So they're making sure that the executive orders are efficiently being acted out. And I wasn't thinking about that, but that's the way it needs to be done. Fucking get it done. You make calls and you make sure people are moving. Move. Get this shit done now, not tomorrow. Go. This needs to be done now. Do not let people put things off when they're working for you. And especially when there's an urgency. If there's everyone that works for you, if you start a business, make everyone have a sense of urgency with the things they're doing so they can get them done quicker. We need to move. There may be certain tasks where we need to slow down and be careful. If it's a task that requires that because of some sensitive reason, then yes, I'll back the fuck off. Don't pressure them, But for most tasks, they could just get done faster. And that's what Doge is doing. And it's so funny. We have 420 viewers, by the way. Doge 420, let's go.
Do a lot of those executive orders have to be codified into law? You need the Republican Congress
and
to
they
follow
will be.
up?
A lot of them will be, yeah.
They will.
But look, in the meantime, we have 4 years. The beauty is we have 4 years. That's why I like doing it right at the beginning, because an executive order is great. I mean, the one problem, it's both good and bad, because when they did all these executive orders, I've canceled.
Thank you for the
most of them.
$5 super chat,
Terrible.
James.
I mean, we're going to go radical left communist. Okay, it was crazy. Their
Really crazy.
executive orders were so bad. If they ever got them codified, you'd never be able to break them. So the damage that Biden has done to this country, and it's not even Biden, it's the people that circled him in the Oval Office, okay? But the damage they did to this country, in terms of, let's say, open borders, there's so many things, but open borders where millions of people poured into our country, and hundreds of thousands of those people are criminals. They're murderers, they're drug dealers, they're gang members, they're people from prisons from all over the world. And we have a great guy, Tom Homan, and he is doing so incredibly. You saw the numbers, they're now like 96%.
95%.
He is a phenomenal guy.
I've heard so many different
Kristi Noem
percentages.
is doing an unbelievable job. And he wanted her. He said, she's so tough. And I said, I don't think of her as that way. She's very nice. He said, no.
I've heard like so now I'm hearing 96%. Then Hannity corrects him 95%. And I have a like super lefty employee that works for me full time. And I have a lot of conversations with him about this stuff just to kind of get a vibe check and see if I can self check a little bit too. Just I don't know, being diligent, right? So I have a super lefty guy that works for me and we talk politics like all the time. And he was looking up and he was saying it was like 65%. Still impressive, but so I'm like, where are you looking that up? So everyone is like getting different fucking numbers on what it actually is. But at the end of the day, I think that the percentage, whatever it is way less fucking people flooding into the country illegally. So either way, it's good. I don't know what the real number is though. Everyone's saying something different.
She's so tough. And she is. I see with the horses, she's riding the horse. Let's go. She's great. But the team we have is really unbelievable. But those executive orders, I sign them, and now they get passed on to him and his group and other people, and they're all getting done. We're getting them done.
Let me go back a little bit to your background, because it's beyond impressive. You were the chief engineer, for example. You were an early believer in Tesla. You became the CEO, and then the chief engineer, which was phenomenal. SpaceX, same thing, which is unbelievable. I mean, you were the first private company to send astronauts successfully into
true.
space.
That's crazy shit.
First private company. to send astronauts into orbit.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep.
He's going to go into orbit soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, he's going to go to Mars. He's going to fly
Starlink?
on his...
At some point. Yeah.
Is in
I mean, they
over.
always ask me, like, do you want to die on Mars? And I say, well, yes, but not on impact.
Starlink is in 100 countries. This is going to be hard. I feel like I'm interviewing two brothers here.
You go ahead.
They're best friends,
Star
and they're gonna do
Shield is gonna
karate
be
in the
used for
garage.
National defense.
Yeah, it is already being used.
What the fuck is Star
Then you
Shield?
have a, what is it called? Optimus, a part of Tesla.
The robot, yeah.
A robotic arm. Then you have an AI arm. And then you have something that really fascinated me. And it's called Neuralink.
Yes.
You might help the blind to see,
Yes.
and people with spinal cord injuries, that they can recover, where in the past, how close is that
Yeah.
becoming a success?
I would love to see the blind be able to like see again, that have complete, like I have a my staff sergeant from the Marines. He, like, when we were in Iraq, he got fucking blown up and completely blinded. It's a big fucked up story. Not gonna get into whatever. And he was a sergeant at the time, and he was the first fully blind Marine in the Marine Corps to get promoted to staff sergeant, because he was so good at artillery. He was able to teach it blind at the artillery school. And he was not just teaching regular artillery, he was teaching chief school, where you become an artillery chief. And he's fully blind. And he, like, I was talking to him not too long ago, and he says, the thing that I miss the most is video games and porn, because he can't see him. He's completely blind. His eyeballs are completely detached from his brain. So how would we get him to see again? Probably cybernetic eyes that are connected to the chip that's in the brain. And he's been following this stuff. And all of us, that were under him or just like around him in the Marines and stuff, we keep up with him. And whenever we find stuff like this, we send it to him. He's heard about all of it. But I would love for this to happen so he could fucking see again. And all he does is he listens to music, podcasts, and he does jujitsu all day. He's fucking awesome. He's a badass. And it's really crazy, because I remember he was such a badass motherfucker. He'd been to Iraq like fucking 5 times or something like that already by the time I went to Iraq with him. So he already knows everything, and he personally picked me to be on his gun, because we're artillery, we just call it a gun. I was on his gun, and he just showed me the way, bro. He brought me to Iraq and fucking showed me how things are done over there. Like, there was all my training and shit, and then I learned a lot from Silva. I think my dog just took a shit. Shit, bro, are you farting? I think he's farting. Anyways, I would love for him to be able to have this technology so Eddie could see again.
Neuralink, we've implanted Neuralink in 3
Get the guy some
patients so
eyes and
far,
porn immediately. I know.
Paraplegics, and it allows them to directly control their phone and computer just using their mind, just by thinking. It's like, so we call this product telepathy. So you control your computer and phone just by thinking, and it's possible to actually control the computer and phone faster than someone who has working hands. Then the next step would be to add a second Neuralink implant past the point where the neurons damaged, so that somebody can walk again. And
interesting.
So they can have full body functionality restored. And
you like Bobby, right?
I like Bobby, actually. Yeah, I think I supported Bobby Kennedy. I think he's unfairly maligned
Thank you for the 5, Alan.
Anti-science. But I think he isn't. He just wants to question the science, which is the essence of the science.
That's okay to do.
The scientific method fundamentally is about always questioning the science.
Well, they need to tell us the truth about COVID.
Teach you that in like 3rd grade, bro.
Yes.
And we learned a lot with the Twitter files. And that just then raises a question.
Sean
The richest
Hannity
man
is
in the
aging.
world. You may not like that part. You're pretty
I mean,
competitive.
It's neither here nor there.
I've known
I
you a
don't know
long
if it
time.
matters.
That's why.
But he's on your team.
President.
Well, that's true. He can't top that.
He's good. I wanted to find somebody smarter than him. I searched all over. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't.
You
I couldn't.
really tried hard.
I couldn't find anyone smarter, right? So
Thanks for the $2 super chat, James.
For the country.
But this is the thing.
We settled on this.
Well,
guy.
thanks for having me.
So,
I'm just trying to be useful
this is
here.
the interesting. This is where we are as a society, and I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to do it anyway.
What are you doing?
You're doing all of these things. Nobody at Doge gets paid a penny, correct?
Well, actually, some people are federal employees.
Some of
Right,
them,
okay.
they're helping.
But that's
I
paid
think
like
it's fair to
nothing.
say that the software engineers at Doge could be earning millions of dollars a year instead of earning a small fraction of that as federal employees.
Okay, so just
And they're very committed people.
so
Yes.
you're committed to helping the blind see people with spinal cord injuries recover.
Yes.
You're committed to getting to Mars. You're committed to rescue. You're going to help rescue next month 2 astronauts that I think were abandoned. They dispute that.
Yeah, let's get those
in an
guys
interview.
back.
At the president's request, or instruction, we are accelerating the return of the astronauts, which was postponed kind of to a ridiculous degree.
They got left in space.
Isn't that crazy? Those motherfuckers got left in space, and like they could have asked Elon to help them at any time, and he would have gladly done it because it would be a huge W for his company. You know, it's like, but they don't want to give him a win. They'd rather leave those fuckers up in space. Isn't that bullshit?
They've been there. They were supposed to be there 8 days. They're there almost 300.
Biden.
That's crazy. It's almost a whole year.
Reasons, which is not
What?
good.
Okay, it's not good. Now, if I had the weight of the pressure of doing that successfully on my shoulders, I think I'd be, you know. But when we spoke before we did this interview, you are very confident. You think this will be a successful mission.
Well, we don't want to be complacent, but we have brought astronauts back from the space station many times before, and always with success. So, as long as we're not complacent.
When are you going to launch?
I think it's about 4 weeks.
Interesting.
About 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I hope everything goes okay.
We're being extremely cautious. Yeah.
You now have the go-ahead.
Yes. Well, thanks.
That what
They
the
didn't
pressure,
have to go
bro.
ahead with Biden.
Imagine the
He
pressure.
was going to leave him in space. I think he was going to leave him in space.
Just imagine the amount of pressure that both of these guys have gone through, right? So Trump has gone through so much stuff, all right? Whether you think that he's like the worst in the world or you think he's fucking God, everyone can agree that Trump has gone through the legal ringer, that's for sure, for years, okay? He has, like, has he not? And like, imagine how much pressure that is. That's insane. And then same for Elon. He has so much like he's writing on everything for Trump to win for this election. And he went super hardcore righty on Twitter. Okay, we all know it, and I don't have a problem with it. You know, I don't give a shit. You know, I just it was crazy to see. That's all. Now imagine like all of this. He has all this pressure from like Doge and everything he's doing. And there's all of his companies, and he's trying to make sure they're all successful and stuff. And now he has like, if he fucks this recovery mission up, that's going to be a big fucking, like, this is risky. That's risky. And he's going to have it ready in 30 days. What? That's crazy. Thanks for the $5 super chat, James. He says, I support them, but understand they are master influencers. They are. Yep. I'm on the same page. It's okay to support them and understand that these guys are fucking people who rise to the fucking top by saying whatever they need to say to get there.
Well, it's like
He
when we were growing up, Lost in Space.
Yeah, he didn't want the publicity.
Romance over if it fails.
Unbelievable.
Maybe.
And so
Yeah.
I want to echo something that the president said and then ask an overarching question. So people get hit with Hurricane Helene. They have no communication with the outside world. You come to the rescue. You donated that, I believe?
Yes.
Okay. You donated to the people
He saved a lot of lives in North Carolina. He saved a lot of lives.
And California after the wildfires?
California, but I mean in North Carolina where they were really in trouble, they had no communication. People were dying. They were dying of starvation. He saved a lot of lives in North Carolina.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
It was big help. Big help, dude.
And now, and again, you do all of this. I would think liberals would love the fact that you have the biggest electric vehicle company in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be adored by the left, you know.
Not anymore.
Yeah, he was.
These
He
days.
killed that, huh?
I mean,
I really didn't know.
Well, I mean, this whole sort of like, you know, they call it like Trump derangement syndrome, and you don't realize how real this is until like it's
real, dude.
You can't reason with people.
You can see it in the
I
chat.
was at a friend's
real.
birthday party in LA, just a birthday dinner, and it was like a nice, quiet dinner, and everyone was behaving normally. And then I happened to mention, this is before the election, like a month or two before, I happened to mention the president's name. And it was like they got shot with a dart in the jugular.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like methamphetamine and rabies. Okay.
I know people exactly like what he's describing.
What is wrong, guys? Like you can't have like a normal conversation. Yeah. And it's like it's like they become completely irrational.
He has no idea. But if you're friends with him, you pay a price. You know, it's like
thanks for the $2 super chat, James. And thanks for the $4 super chat. Hello.
Daggers, and they want to.
No, the eye daggers level is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like I had like some invitation because I got invited to like basically a big sort of dam event like it received the invitation like the beginning of last year, and I still attended even after I'd endorsed President Trump, and I didn't realize how profoundly that would affect, how I was received. I mean, I walk into the room and I'm getting just.
Look at them. Look at they're glowing. They're both glowing. They're best friends, bro.
But that was not.
Dude, I'm telling you. They just became best friends.
Before Trump, that never happened, right?
YouTube chat is a war zone. It is. It's 100% a war zone. Okay. There's a little break here.
Take a look.
We will go forward. Okay. Let's hear what Mr. Hannity has to say. I'll read a couple things in chat real quick. Let's see. Rabies and meth is pretty bad mix. Oh my God. Russia. Cost of living went up because corporations bought all the houses and grocery stores and are price gouging customers. There is no free market anymore. You know, there's a lot of big companies that try and stifle anyone small to come in and get a piece. That is true. I see it happen all the time.
This is the $1 million or $1 billion, I'm among billionaires, question. So you have all of this going on and you stop, in a way. You're still doing it. And you partner with him. And
best team up ever
from the Democrats. You get
best team up.
Nobody voted for Elon. Well, nobody voted for any of your cabinet nominees.
I know, easy
people
the defeat argument
because of Doge cuts. I'll give you a chance to respond to all that. What Doge is doing is illegal. Elon Musk is more street vernacular for a male body part. It's a constitutional crisis.
Okay. Why are they reacting like this?
Well, first of all, do you give it flying red?
I think I know why. They're desperate.
I guess we must be over the target or doing something right. You know?
I think they're desperate. That's why they're doing that.
Complaining so much if we weren't doing something useful. I think.
Facts.
What all we're really trying to do here is restore the will of the people through the president.
What we want.
And what we're finding is that there's an unelected bureaucracy. Speaking of unelected. There's a vast federal bureaucracy that is implacably opposed to the president and the cabinet. And you look at, say, DC voting, it's 92% Kamala. Okay, so we're 92% Kamala. That's a lot.
They don't like me here either.
I think about that number a lot. And like 92%, that's basically almost everyone.
Yeah.
And so, how can you, if the will of the president is not implemented, and the president is representative of the people, that means the will of the people is not being implemented. And that means we don't live in a democracy, we live in a bureaucracy. And so I think what we're seeing here is the thrashing of the bureaucracy as we try to restore democracy and the will of the people. Is this making sense? I mean...
Yeah. It's making perfect sense.
Of course it does. I mean, to me, if you look at our framers and our founders, and you really become a student of history, Mr. President, and we've had conversations both on air and off air. And if we talk about constitutional order or transformational change, nobody can argue that what's happening here is going at the speed of light. But however, what were the principles of our framers and our founders? They wanted limited government, greater freedom for the people. And we'll get to the specific cutting of waste, fraud, and abuse. That is your goal, is it not?
Yeah, and my goal was to get great people. And when you look at what this man has done, I mean, it was something. I knew him a little bit through the White House. Originally, I'd see him around a little bit. I didn't know him before that. And I respected what he did. And he fought hard. You know, he was maybe questioned for a while. He was having some difficulties. It was not easy doing what he did. I mean, how many people have started a car company and made it really successful?
Not very many.
A better car where it's, you know, beating these big companies that's all they do is cars.
All these lefties, it's so funny how many people think that Elon Musk is stupid and that they are like way smarter than him, and they have like terrible lives. You know, like they've made like horrible decisions for themselves and they're not in a good place. But they sit there and fucking type away on their phone or the computer, and they think they're smarter than Elon Musk, and it's so fucking funny. It's like, bro, you are like in such a horrible position, and you think you're smarter than this guy? You know, like Trump is right. How do you start a car company and succeed in that environment? Speaking of the big companies that won't let other companies come in and exist, right? Like they try and make it hard for anyone else to come in and get a piece, but he did it. and many other things too.
I mean, it's really amazing the things he's done, but I didn't know it as much then.
Thank you for the
as
5, James.
now. I mean, the fruits have sort of taken hold. But I wanted great people, and he's a great person. He's an amazing person. He's also a caring person. You know, he uses the word care. So they sign a contract in a government agency, and it has 3 months, and the guy leaves that signed the contract, and nobody else is there, and they pay the contract for 10 years.
Yeah.
So the guy is getting checks for years and years and years, and he's telling his family, obviously, maybe it was crooked, maybe he paid to get the contract, or maybe he paid that they didn't terminate it. But, you know, we have contracts that go forever, and they've been going for years. And they're supposed to end in 3 months or 5 months or 2 years or something, and they go forever. So the guy is either crooked, you know, where he knew this was going to happen, or he's crooked because he's getting payments that he
Market
knows
is
he shouldn't be
savage.
getting. But
Thanks
they're
for the $2,
finding things
man.
like that. They're finding things far worse than that. And they're finding billions, and it will be hundreds of billions of dollars worth of fraud. I say,
All right, yeah. So do I glaze Elon? Yes, but also Blue makes a really good point, because I'm always going to shit on Elon for this one. He says he played 1,500 hours of Path of Exile since year. Bro, that motherfucker is not playing Path of Exile. He is really good at hiring people to do things for him, including play his video games. He totally lied about playing fucking video games, and that's cringe as fuck. All right, it doesn't mean that I hate Elon Musk though, but that is cringe as fuck. All right, I'm really good at looking at people and saying, I like this, but I don't like that, instead of being like, I don't like this one thing, so fuck that guy entirely. I don't look at the world that way, and people that do look at the world that way are cringe and fucking losers.
waste and abuse, but fraud, waste, and abuse. And he's doing an amazing job. And he attracts a young, very smart type of person.
Take the good with the bad. Said it
I
way
call
better
them
than I did,
high
Ryan.
IQ individuals, and they are. They're very high IQ and high IQ. And when they go in to see the people and talk to these people, you know, the people think they're going to pull it over. They don't. These guys are smart, and they love the country. You know, there's a certain something. But he uses the word care. So people have to care.
This is some basic
Like,
leadership shit.
When
Simple.
I bought Air Force One, I negotiated the price. It was $5.7 billion, and I got them down to $1.7 billion. Now they're not building the plane fast enough. I mean, they're actually in default. Boeing, they're supposed to have been building this thing forever. I don't know what's going on.
But
We
Boeing
don't
stock
build the way
going
we used to
down, bro.
build.
Oh
You
my
know,
god.
We used to build like a ship a day, and now to build a ship is like a big deal. And we're going to get this country back on track.
Yeah,
we
let's
can
do it.
But
I think we can too.
so many things. It takes so long to get things built and get things done.
Not with
and a lot of
Elon.
it could be something we've been discussing. The regulators go in and they make it impossible to build. They make it very difficult to build anything, whether it's a ship, a plane, or a building, or anything.
Get them out of the way.
And some of them do it because they want to show how important they are. Some of them do it maybe because they think they're right. They use the environment to stop progress and to stop things. It's always the environment. It's an environmental problem. It's not.
So he's a liar, but you think he's still trustworthy? I can trust certain things and not trust other things, right? So if you just think that way, then you'll always end up being wrong twice a day, right? You know, they say there's a clock is right twice a day. Well, if you only think that way, you'll always be wrong twice a day, right? So there's certain things that you don't have to trust that Trump is saying, and there's other things that you can trust that he's saying. Like when he's saying, like, Elon Musk, when I put out an executive order, him and his fucking Doge guys follow the executive orders and push the orders down the path of desks that they need to go in to make the things happen. Instead of just waiting for it to happen, they're pursuing it. When he said that that's what they're doing, I believed that to be true. Don't you? Don't you think that's true? Like, that's what Elon is doing, because they have an agenda and they're aggressively trying to get the executive orders to happen. Like, they do want their executive orders to happen, so they are going to try and make them happen. And it only makes sense that Elon, you know, would have his guys go and push the things to happen sooner. I believe Trump when he says that, because I think that that's true. If Trump says something else that's not true, you know, and I'll be like, I don't fucking know about that. Okay, I don't believe everything Trump says. He's not like a 100% honest person. And just because someone's not a 100% honest person doesn't mean I could still I should just block out everything they say. That's not how the world works. And if you do that, then you're that wrong clock twice a day, right? Don't do that. So there's truths and lies. What's intelligent is to try and figure out what is true and what is bullshit. That's what all normal people are trying to do. And that's what this stream is about. That's what we do here. I don't fucking just glaze everything Trump does. There's been plenty of times I've been live, plenty of times now. We've had millions of views on these streams. Everyone has seen it. If Trump does something I don't think is true, or something I disagree with, when he was talking about Gaza and moving everyone, I'm like, what does that mean? Are we putting boots on the ground? Because I would not support that. I will, in real time, I'm not just going to sit there and be like, yeah, Trump, whatever he says, bro. I'm not like that. I do like Trump, and I'm glad that he's in charge and not fucking Kamala. She wouldn't have gotten anything done. Okay? So you take the good with the bad. This guy is a fucking New York real estate dude. Okay? This guy fucking will use leverage and put you out of business so he can win. This is the type of person he is, and I accept that. That's okay to me. I don't mind. Yeah, we all lie. Everybody lies. And if you want to be in a position of power, you gotta bullshit to get there. They all do it. Show me the fucking most honest person that can become president. It's not gonna happen. Honest Abe, maybe that's the only time.
Not an environmental problem at all.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of things. And by the way, speaking of that, Lee Zeldin is going to be fantastic in the position. So important. He could take 10 years to approve or disapprove something, or he could do it in a month. Just as good.
Sure.
And I think you're going to see a fantastic job done by him. He's a tremendous guy.
Newt, you echoed something when I just met you, and it was very similar to what Newt has been saying, that he brought this country to the dance. This is the opportunity to be transformational and to have, I would argue, the most consequential presidency if we really dig down and do something that had never been done before. And that is get rid of this bureaucracy. And I'm going to get to the specifics. You say the same thing. It's not done yet. And what do you mean by that?
I mean, winning the election is really the opportunity to fix the system. It is not fixing the system itself. So it's an opportunity to fix the system and to restore the power of democracy. And people it's funny how often when these attacks occur, the thing that they're accusing the administration of is what they are guilty of.
Always.
They're saying that things are being
so common.
Unconstitutional. But what they are doing is unconstitutional. They are guilty of the crime of which they accuse us.
That's always the first thing they do.
Yeah, it's so common.
The Constitution. They don't even know what they're talking. Well,
It's absurd.
know. It's just a con job. It's a big con job. And they're so bad for the country, so dangerous and so bad. And the media is so bad. When I watch MSNBC, which I don't.
That's a really good example, Carlos. Thank you. Trump said that Ukraine started the war. I disagree with that. Russia invaded Ukraine. I disagree. I don't think that that's true. Thank you, Carlos, for bringing that up, because there's one that I disagree with. I disagree with that. I don't believe that. I believe that Russia started it. So is there some sort of argument that can be made that Ukraine was blah, blah? I don't fucking know. No, Russia wants that territory because they want to have that mountain range that's right up on NATO, so they don't have a big gap of fucking land and resources and stuff separating them from the front lines of NATO. If they hold Ukraine, that'd be really good positioning for Russia for literally forever, because they'll hold that territory forever. That's what they want. It's just, they're just playing fucking, what's that game called with all the troops in the world map? Risk. Bro, they're just playing fucking Risk. They want that spot because it's useful to them. That's what they want. They want it. Then they invaded because they wanted to take it. Trump's not saying the truth there. Okay? He didn't say the truth. I still like Trump.
I don't watch much, but you have to watch the enemy on occasion. The level of arrogance and cheating, and they're just horrible people. These are horrible people.
They tell conspiracy theories.
And they start up with the Constitution.
Thanks for the $2 super chat, James.
The Constitution. CNN, likewise. I mean, I watch them asking questions with, the hatred with the. I said, "Why are you asking the question with such anger? You're asking me a normal question, but you see the bias. The bias is so incredible.
It's bias on both sides, but it's really bad on the left right now.
PBS is bad. AP is bad. CBS is terrible. I mean, CBS now, they changed an answer in Kamala. They asked her some questions. She answered them like, a low IQ person, the opposite of him, the absolute opposite. But she gave a horrible answer. They took the entire answer out and they put another answer that she gave 20 minutes later into the as the
Part of her
answer.
word
I've
salad.
never even heard of that. I thought I heard of it all.
I'm going to, just for the sake of saving time,
Yeah.
because I could spend, and I've done this on radio and TV, I can spend an hour finding the outrageous amounts of money being spent abroad like USAID, and I just want to mention a couple, but I'm going to scroll it. And
Well, I guess at a high level, I think it's what the president mentioned earlier, which is that in order to save taxpayer money, it comes down to two things: competence and caring.
Getting things done
when,
efficiently.
When the president
That's
was
what that
shown the
achieves.
outrageous bill for the new Air Force One, and then negotiated it down, if the president had not applied competence and caring, the price would have been 50% higher.
Does anyone watch anything other than Fox News? I watch all the news networks if there's anything interesting. This is exclusive on Fox. It literally says Hannity exclusive at the bottom right here. Like, see that? It says Hannity exclusive. I wanted to hear this. It was exclusive.
Literally 50% higher. The president cared, the president was competent, the price was not 50% higher as a result. And so when you add more competence and caring, you get a better deal for the American people.
But we were talking about this yesterday. I could give me thousands of bills. I could pick any one of them.
Yes, exactly.
But I could take all 1,000. And let's say it's a bill for $5,000, just $5,000, and it's done by some bureaucrat. And if he would say, I'll give you 3, I don't want to pay you 5, it's too high, I'll give you 3. But they don't do that. If a guy sends in a bill for $5,000, they pay $5,000. They expect to be cut. Everybody expects to be cut. When you send in a bill, you expect to be cut. They send in the bill higher for the most part. This is true with lawyers, legal fees. When they send in legal fees, I can cut. I wish I had the time. I would save so, but
Thanks,
I could cut
Pablo.
these
Appreciate that,
bills
man. It
in
means a lot
half,
to me to
much
be
better
real.
than half. But you offer people a much lower number because you know they actually put fat. I'm not even saying it's like a way of business. They put more on because they expect to be negotiated. When you send in a bill to the government, there's nobody to negotiate.
Yes.
You send in a bill for $10,000 and they send you a check back for $10,000.
Yeah.
If you would call them and said, we'll give you 5. No, I need
This
more
is
than 5.
basic stuff, dude.
We'll give you 5. I'm not going to pay any more than 5. Make it 6. No, I'm not going to make it 6. And you'll settle for $5,500. You've just cut the bill almost in half, and it took like 2 minutes. But none of that's
Don't we
done.
call that the art of the
But
deal?
that's caring. No, it's not even the art of the deal. It's caring. He uses the
It's
word
true.
caring.
It's such a good
caring.
way of putting
it's
it.
a certain competence, but I think it's more caring
I
than
know,
competence.
if you add either ingredient, either competence or caring, you'll get a better outcome. But
Yeah.
it stands to reason that if you don't have competence, you don't have caring, you're going to get a terrible deal. And the problem is that the American taxpayers have been getting a terrible deal because look at the last administration. Can any reasonable person say that the last administration was either competent or caring?
But they lied to us and said that Joe didn't have a cognitive decline.
They fully lied.
They said
They
the borders
lied about
were
that,
closed.
yeah.
They said that the borders were secure. They said that,
Right.
they said Obamacare would save.
They flat out lied.
They flat
It was
out lied.
insane.
Yeah. And what's really funny is they're simply talking about how to get a better deal, and you just follow through and have caring. And there's people on the left that will still argue against it no matter what. Like, and this is just like basic shit that applies to everything, right? Like, follow through with things. And if someone is offering a price, don't just take it. You can try and get them you could try and get a better price. There's nothing wrong with that. And they're simply saying, as the government, we should ask for a better price for things. Right. And there's people that are going to argue against that and say, they're just telling lies. It's like, bro, they're just talking about basic, like, dude, it's not lies. It's not Nazi shit or anything to say, hey, when we ask for something for a private company to do something for the government, we shouldn't just pay whatever they ask. We should say, nah, we don't want to pay that. We want to pay this. If you want the job, meet our pay. If they don't think that that's worth it, then they won't take it. And that's just the way it works with everybody, with everything. Like, we've all dealt with that. And that's all they're suggesting. Literally watch it. That's what they're talking about. And they're saying, let's apply that to the government. It makes too much sense, dude. And it's what's really funny is the more the left tries to argue against this, like, they're just bleeding support. I say this every stream. They're bleeding support. And it's a damn shame because I would like the left to be more competitive. All they have to do is just make more fucking sense. Right? And it doesn't make sense to be against these basic checks and balances. And so what the left is doing is they're trying to psyop everyone and say they're trying to steal all your info and Elon's going to steal all the government money and all this weird shit they're saying. It's ridiculous. But hey, they keep doing that, then they just hurt their own side and it strengthens the right, you know. And as somebody who cares about them and I want them to do better, I would love them to see that. But as somebody that also likes winning, you know, from a competitive standpoint, keep doing that. Lefties, keep doing that shit. Keep being against these things that make sense. Stop picking the 20% on every 80-20 issue. Be more competitive. Make more sense to your people, dude. You'll have more support and you'll be a bigger thorn in our side. It just make more sense. You know, like people want the government to stop being inefficient. Everyone agrees that the government wastes money. Being against, like, checking into that is a big L, and they're playing you guys. They straight up are. All right, end of that segment. I think we're gonna start the. This is a show. We're calling it In Other News. This is a podcast, I guess, thing. It's called In Other News with Stan Price. I did a horrible job of opening it today. So we take these live streams and we're putting them on. We're gonna start putting them on all the podcast things so people can listen to this stuff if they'd like. I think it'll be really funny. I think this would be a really funny, interesting competitor in that space. We're doing pretty good with the live streams on YouTube. I will say that. But let's get into the reason why we're calling it In Other News is every time I transition to the next thing, I say, in other news, DEI pilots are crashing all the planes. Or is that the truth? Okay, so according to End Wokeness on Twitter, the plane that crashed in Toronto was a Delta flight operated by Endeavour Air, a small airline obsessed with all-female unmanned flights. So is this going to be... Like, let me just quickly put my stance out here. I don't give a fuck if it's a girl or a boy. If someone is really good at flying fucking airplanes, let them do it. And let's test them to make sure that they are good at it. If it just so happens to come out that girls they have a higher percentage of being worse at flying airplanes and guys are just better at it, I don't care if that's like, I don't care. Then more guys should be pilots. That's, you know, like if it ends, like, don't do it on purpose, but if the best people end up rising to the top are dudes, then so be it, dude. Okay, it's not sexist. That's not against women. Okay, it's a dangerous thing. They need to fly these things and not fucking crash, man. So that's my stance on it. If there was an incompetence that can be measured that is correlated with DEI and it's provable fucking scientifically, okay, then let's address that. I'm not sure if it's actually a problem or not, but that's the way it's being framed by, like, everyone on the internet. Okay. And I'm like, and I don't like DEI shit. It pisses me off. Let the best people win. I don't care what fucking skin color they are or if they're a girl or a boy. I don't care. Whoever is the best, smartest motherfucker is the one who should be doing it and everything. And that's how we have the best stuff and make the best things happen. It's how we get things done the most effectively. It is just facts. So if we're purposely, like, taking dudes and not giving them fucking pilot jobs because we want to have only the ladies flying this one, that's, number one, that's illegal as fuck. Like, isn't that against the law? That was against the law as fuck when I was growing up, bro. What happened? I don't know. I guess that's not illegal anymore. I grew up in California. Like, in California, that is so illegal. You cannot discriminate based off of somebody's gender on hiring the job. Right. And I guess unless it's like strippers or something, like, you know, I guess there's some exceptions. Like, what if you have to hire dudes for your strip club? That would be funny as fuck, dude. Anyways, let's see what they're saying. Let's watch this and let's see what this video is. I got a couple more links and we're just going to kind of see, like, are they just fucking saying shit, or do we really think that this is what it is, or do we still just not know? Let's find out.
I don't think so.
Oh my God, you're right. Okay. So I'll just, like, turn the volume down. I don't know if I'm gonna get copyrighted, but this is kind of cringe. You know, I don't know. When you have an unmanned flight crew, oh, they're just, like, bragging about having no dudes on the plane. I mean, I don't know. I literally don't give a shit. Only thing I care about is if they're good. If these are the best of the fucking best, then so be it, bro. Fucking have an all women flight crew, bro. I'm not sure if, like, I don't know. Bragging about it, like, oh, only men, you know, I don't know what this is. What is this? This is just some... These are, like, it's just still more music. I don't know what we're looking at. All right, this is the ladies you got into aviation. I mean, good for them. We, like, if they can fucking do it, let them do it, dude. I don't know. Is it the problem? This isn't telling me if it's the problem or not. It's a compilation of a bunch of cringe TikToks from these chicks saying, hey, look, we're fucking pilots. Okay. And nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong yet. Hold on. Let's see. What is this one? Is this going to show me, like, is this the same video? Delta airplane that crashed Toronto was operated at Endeavour Air, a regional airline that, okay. Is it the actual cause? I don't know. I need to see something else other than this shit to prove it to me. Other people, this is all they need to see to prove it to them. And that's a damn shame. I don't think that that's very logical. I think it's more logical to be like, is this fucking, like, I don't know. This is floating around because it feels good to share it. Because it's like, yeah, stupid fucking women, you know, DEI, fuck DEI, right? And I hate DEI just as much as everyone else does. It's stupid as fuck. Don't get me wrong. All I'm saying is that, like, this isn't enough. This video isn't enough to prove that, like, the plane that crashed was a DEI issue. I don't know. Now, here is evidence that does support maybe there was some incompetence, right? When you're landing a plane, you're basically supposed to pull up. I'm not sure what the exact maneuver is in aviation, but it's like an air brake, and it really slows you down. Like, before you land, you go, and then you slow it down so you can land gently. This plane fucking smacked into the goddamn ground and blew up. Caught fire, and it broke the landing gear off of it, and it fucking rolled over, busted a wing off and shit. It's crazy. All right? Like, not pulling up, like, isn't like, okay, do they do that by hand? I don't know enough about aviation, okay? So I'm going to make that really clear. I know some basics. Do they automatically do it by hand, or is that autopilot shit? I'm not sure. I thought maybe it was autopilot. I thought planes just kind of landed themselves, and then you have trained pilots that can land it themselves that are in the hot seat making sure everything is correct. I'm not sure exactly, but either way, that doesn't happen. The pilots don't make that mistake. That's a fucking crazy ass mistake to make. And if it's a lady that's in there, well, that's not going to help. It's going to make everyone post shit like this. Okay. And so I don't know, like, if there's a measurable incompetency, right? That we could fucking see and measure and prove, then I'm all about saying that. Now here's something that's really interesting. This plane did flip over. This isn't crazy, right? Look at that. But according to Dexerto here, Delta is offering $30,000 to each passenger on the plane that landed upside down in Toronto. The payout will have no strings attached, not affecting any potential compensation pursued through legal rights. If this is some sort of tactic to try and get them not to sue, I don't give a shit, because it's still kind of the right thing to do, in my opinion, dude. It makes it right. I'm so glad they all survived. I mean, $30,000 seems a bit like low, to be honest, right? Because for almost dying, but hey, you know what? They don't have to give shit, and you could just sue. But like, I don't know. Here's $30,000 to pay for your lawyers. It seems like it works against itself, but I don't know. I like the gesture, even if there's some sort of nefarious reason why they're doing it. Maybe they're, trying to smooth them over or something. But whatever. They literally added no strings attached, so they could sue if they want. They could they could take that money and use it to sue. And then I don't know. It's a weird response. Here's 30 grand for each of you, no strings attached. You can literally use it to sue us. I've never seen anything like that before. That would just struck me as interesting. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's, maybe the positive press from it is something they're looking for. I don't know. It's weird though, right? I've never heard of that before. Maybe you guys have. Tell me if you have. Speaking of planes falling out of the fucking sky, another plane crash. This is from today, hours ago. And there two small planes collided in Arizona.
And NTSB
Here's what I'm starting to think. I'm actually curious about something, because I've been like, are the planes like, dude, why are all the planes falling out of the sky all of a sudden? Isn't that like way safer than cars? I'm actually wondering if this volume of plane crashes is actually normal, right? Maybe the news is just focusing on it more, but it's been happening in this volume the whole time. They just didn't report every fucking plane crash. But now, since like there's been some crazy tragic ones, anything that happens, they report it and it gets a ton of views and they make a ton of money. So they just keep reporting on plane crashes. I'm just theorizing here. The way to prove this, the way to look into this, it would be to see wait, how many plane crashes did we have in 2024? How many plane crashes did we have in 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020? Let's go back, like 5 years, 4 or 5 years, and just see. We could start there. Compare them. Is there a rising? If it's like less, then let's keep going back, and we could just chart it out and see like are they increasing, or we can even, if it was measurable, I'm sure it is in some way. What about the amount of reporting? Like, okay, so how much reporting on plane crashes are there over that same period of time? Is it like, are they just reporting on it more? Because that, if you think about it, that's one way that a lot of people believe that the world is getting worse. It's because they hear of all this stuff from the media that scares them, and they think that the world is some dangerous place. Like everyone in Europe thinks that we just walk around with fucking machine guns everywhere, dude, because of the news, right? Like, so they because of you always hear all the bad things, like they think that we just walk outside and we're just dodging bullets left and right, bro. They actually believe that shit. It's funny as fuck. And but it's a good example of how this shit like affects us, right? And maybe it's the volume of reporting that's higher and not the plane crashes. It's just a theory, and I would love to like find a way to look into that somehow. I don't have that data, but that if I was gonna try and get to the bottom of this, because I have my question, the way I would get, if I had access to however to get that data, it would be how many plane crashes every year in America. We can do America, we can also do worldwide, and I also want to see how much media reporting, and then we could correlate the two. I would start there. I'm not like a math genius, but I'm just thinking that's a good place to start with getting some data to understand, is it actually increasing, or is it just more media reporting, or maybe somewhere in between. Maybe I don't know. What's the data say? I'd love to look at it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here is this is from somebody named Andy. I don't know how to say the last name here. He's a New York Times best-selling journalist. Okay. This is talking about this is like a transgender cult of killers. And I thought that this was an interesting story to talk about. Because they've been circulating they've been arrested, and it's just, there's crazy people in all groups of people. I hate it when there's a racist on the right, and then the left just says, see, you're all racist. So I want to say, like, don't look at this and be like, see, all trans people are fucking murderer killers, right? We don't like it when it's done to us, so let's not do that to them, even if they're just going to keep doing it anyways, because they're fucking dicks. All right? So just saying, I want to start with that when we talk about this subject. Now, I don't know this guy. Oh, he has like a whole Twitter feed on this. Let's start from the top. Instead of watching his video, let's go from the top and just see what he's talking about. Holy fuck, this goes deep. This is crazy. Oh my God, okay, maybe we should watch the video. Wow. Oh, wow, this is a lot. Okay, I'm going to link this for you guys in the chat if you want it. Here you go. I'll give it on Twitch as well, YouTube and Twitch. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's a whole story on this. This is deeper than I was expecting. We finally made it to the top. Liberal media has been uninterested in investigating the couple involved in shooting dead a U.S. Border Patrol agent in Coventry, Vermont, near the Canadian border on Inauguration Day. Why? Both the duo are leftist trans militants. One of the deceased armed militants is excuse me, where are we? Is a German believed to be in the country on an H-1B visa. The duo is allegedly connected to a trans-terror cell. Federal law enforcement has been surveilling German man Felix Opelia Balkholt and Seattle student Teresa Milo Youngblood with these pronouns after staff at a Lyndonville, Vermont motel reported seeing them with black tactical clothing, weapons, and protective militia-style equipment. When the duo was pulled over on January 20th, Youngblood allegedly shot dead Officer David Molland in a surprise attack. And the returning fire, Buckholt, who is also armed, was killed. Youngblood was injured and survived. Whoa, that's crazy. I spoke with Jessica Taylor, a Berkeley, California woman who had met Buckholt over the years. She confirmed Buckholt is trans. Okay. That's great. And this just goes deep. It continues. So we'll just scroll down and see this. Like, let me go back and find the video and we'll start there. But there's an intro to this. Here we go. I believe there was a video. Where did that video go? You know what? I have it here. Here's the video. We'll just watch this and let's see what we make of it. Keep in mind, it's a heated subject about trans people. Some people are way more tolerant than others, including in this entire chat and everyone watching right now. Everyone has their different tolerances of trans people. Let's just keep that in mind when we watch it. Simply that, not telling anyone what to fucking think.
Terror cult group. Ladies and gentlemen, they got him. The leader of the group, Jack Z's Lesota, was apprehended alive.
Bro, that's crazy looking.
Maryland.
This is a
on the
scary
16th
face, dude.
of February.
Thank you for the $1 super chat, James.
With Michelle Zajko. The two of them were armed, and they were in their box trucks. And a third member named Daniel Blank was apprehended as well. According to the charging document, the three of them drove the two box trucks onto a man's property in western rural Maryland and asked if they could camp out on his land for a month. That man made the right decision in contacting police.
Interesting.
Because alleged members of this group killed one of their other landlords in California.
Oh, wow.
So when state troopers responded...
they're just too far gone. They broke bad, bro.
Daniel Blank first complied. He was in one of the vehicles, and one of the state troopers stayed with him. And Zajko and Lesota were in another box truck, and they refused to follow orders to come out. And eventually, as the commands kept escalating, they did come out. Zajko was observed.
Did you give me a super chat,
firearm
Marshall?
On her belt.
Sorry, hold on. Let me read that super chat. Apologize. $5 super chat for Marshall. Thank you for saying something. I would have just let it go by, and that would have been a waste of your $5, bro. They connected the autopilot to a flight sim game. The recent crash was caused by user loser has 6969 and his co-pilot big balls. Okay, that gave me a chuckle. There we go. Thanks for reminding me to take a look at that. I apologize for missing it.
And she also had ammo. Both of them refused to identify themselves. They were told that they were on trespassing on private property, and they were hoping to just be let off and go. And perhaps under most circumstances that would have happened. But the FBI is finally on this case. And so there were internal notices that were sent out. Law enforcement across the East Coast in particular were on notice that there were members of this group who have been at large ever since the FBI began investigating following the deadly shootout in Vermont in January. Michelle Zajko refused to comply, to put with her hands behind her back, and they were taking them into custody because they wouldn't identify themselves. I'm reading through the court documents. Zajko was taken to the ground and arrested. All three of them were taken in. And
would I call ICE on people? I support the deportations, but I would never snitch.
See,
unless they're like fucking like straight up like gang members and they're fucking dangerous, like obvious, and it's not just some innocent family that like they just want to live here, but they unfortunately came when like so many people came in, so now we're all paying attention to it. We can't just like turn a blind eye anymore, right? I mean, isn't that fair? Like I would never snitch on them, but if it's some gang member people, I would totally snitch.
In the booking photos,
you call every time.
Zajko,
I disagree, but you do you. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. Like that's how you feel about it. I'm not going to tell you not to feel that way about it. You can think about it however you want. If you think that it's important for you to be a snitch on it, then so be it. That's the way I say it.
Source who knew where she was living before she went to Vermont before the shootout happened. She, Jack Lesota, Felix Ophelia Colt, who's the German national that died, and the Seattle woman named Teresa Milo Youngboot. The four of them were living together for months at Airbnb units in Chatham County, North Carolina. That's exclusive to my reporting. Michelle Zajko appeared to pretend to be dead in her booking photo, which is something that you may remember that
That's crazy.
Jack Lasota did a couple years earlier when he was arrested.
That's crazy to pretend to be dead.
According to court documents,
What an interesting strategy. Pretend to be dead for your booking photo. Right? I like Trump's strategy better, doing the mean mug, bro. Like, that fucking Trump face is so legendary. And then he did it again for his presidential portrait. But pretending to be dead, that's a new one for me.
They refused, they gave aliases, refused to give their real names, and they were conclusively identified through the internal identifying documents at the FBI.
Evan says, hey, Stan, I'm a commercial pilot. If you've got any quick questions, I'm not going to head out. I've got to get back to studying. If not, I'm going to head out. Okay, I do have a question. I know we're on a different subject right now, but I do have a question. What's your opinion on, like, do you think that, like, DEI is an issue? Like, have you seen it in your experience? I'm not asking for, like, everyone to believe what the fucking guy is saying or whatever. I'm just asking him what his experience is so he could share it. Yeah, what do you think about the DEI thing? Do you think that's a problem in airlines or not? And this is someone who claims to be a pilot and is studying.
I had given out to law enforcement.
If you guys are interested in that, watch out for it in the chat. It'll be on there, and I will just leave it on the YouTube video as well. If you guys are interested in his answer to that question, just watch out in the chat.
America. It's difficult for me to state how relieved I am at these arrests.
Let me skip ahead here. Let's see if we can get to more facts.
He proclaimed his innocence and questioned why he was even there. He didn't believe that he should have been apprehended at all. Michelle Zajko at one point had an outburst when her public defender misgendered her. Michelle Zajko is a biological female and identifies as trans non-binary and uses they, them pronouns. She was misgendered as he in court. All three of them were denied bail.
Good, fuck them.
And actually, I was kind of holding my breath because they.
So this guy's been following this for a long time. I'm just going to kind of get to the point here with this particular story. This guy's been following. This is a matter that matters quite a bit to him. I don't know what his opinions on trans people are whatsoever. He's just been only talking about facts that he found, and he's provided receipts. I think that's there's no opinion that's been added in here whatsoever. The only hint of anything is a misgendering, but I don't give a shit. I choose not to do that to people personally, but I don't give a shit if other people do it. I'm not going to tell them what to do and how they're supposed to see that thing, right? I choose to do it because I just don't want the fucking heat, and I just want to be respectful. That's my honest answer. That's why I choose not to misgender people. I do think that all the different pronouns and stuff is fucking annoying. It's annoying, but I'm not. I'll just whatever. I don't care. It's not that big of a deal to me. But everyone else, choose whatever you want to do. Do it however you want. Listen. In other news, oh yeah, this is so wild. Okay, I'm just gonna skip past that one and let's move on to this next segment. Okay, so the LA mayor has been in some heat ever since the fires have happened because allegedly she was on vacation at somebody's wedding in Africa or something like that while these fires were happening, and it took her a little bit to get back to be able to handle the situation. And this is her talking to a journalist, talking for a post-fire interview to talk about what she has to say. Now, I haven't watched this. I don't know what she has to say. This guy, Colin Rugg, is going to frame this video here. I don't know if he's going to frame it correctly or incorrectly or out of context. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm just going to read what he wrote. And it's not me claiming anything. Maybe he ends up being exactly right. I don't know. I haven't watched the video yet. So I just like to frame these things this is what this motherfucker is saying, not what I'm saying. Okay. LA Mayor Karen Bass says she's investigating why she was allowed to go on a trip to Ghana days before the LA fires. Investigating someone else for something you did is wild. Bass, the level of preparation really didn't happen, so it didn't reach that level to me. No one said you shouldn't have gone on a trip. Reporter, why didn't it happen? Bass, I don't know. That's why we are investigating. Let's just, and it's also a 2-minute, 44-second clip. Maybe there's context before or after that could be missing that would frame this completely differently. Keep that in mind. They do this shit all the time on all sides.
Was a mistake now. But I just am curious on the thought process behind it.
Right.
Because we know that there was warnings about the weather before you went, and you still went. What was the thought process behind going to Ghana?
So let me just tell you a couple of things. First of all, when the White House called and asked me if I would represent the president, I said,
guys, chill, hear her out, dude. Just hear her out. Listen to what she has to say. Okay, then we interpret it, we process it, and then we respond. Just hear her out first.
that yes, it was going to be a very, very short trip, over a weekend and 2 business days. We need to look at everything about the preparation and all of that for the fires, because I think when we evaluate that, we will find that although there were warnings that I frankly wasn't aware of, although there were warnings, I think our preparation wasn't what it typically is, meaning that before there's a major weather event, for example, last week when we knew we were going to get into the rains, you saw us come together and us talk about, you know, get your sandbags, bring the K-rails out. That type of preparation didn't happen. If that had, I will tell you, Alex, I wouldn't have even gone to San Diego, let alone leave the country.
But what do you mean there were warnings you weren't aware of? Because I know we were talking about it on the news. A lot of people were talking about the problems, warning that this was going to be a huge deal.
So when I talked about it with
Good question. Let's see what she says.
What she said is that we have warnings of Santa Ana winds a lot, but predicting this, and you saw, from the city, from the county, that level of preparation really didn't happen. So it didn't reach that level to me to say something terrible could happen and maybe you shouldn't have gone on the trip.
Why didn't it happen?
But to me, I don't know. I mean, I think that that's one of the things we need to look at. So 2 investigations are taking place. One internal to the city, and that's the Fire Commission, because that's mandated by the city charter. So the commission will hire an outside entity to examine everything, the pre-deployment, you know, why were firefighters sent home, you know, all of that should have taken place that didn't. And then also the governor has contracted with the Fire Safety Research Institute, which is a national institute that investigated what happened in the fires in Maui. So everything that happened, including that, needs to be examined. But I will tell you that I felt absolutely terrible not being here for my city and not being here for my family, who was impacted by the fires as well. And so when I say it was a mistake, absolutely, the idea that I was not present was very painful.
I'm going to go to Ghana.
All right. Here's my take. Okay. Here's what you guys can tell me what you think, if I'm fucking way off or not. You let me know. Okay. But here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that she does feel bad for not being here. And that wasn't like some, like, she doesn't care type of thing. Okay. I think she does care. Now, do I think that there's some finger pointing going on here? I'm smelling some finger pointing, bro. Who's truly responsible for this? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and try and say what I think that is. Because I honestly don't know. That there's so much about this that I don't have access to understand, to like truly know, like, who can we like make responsible for this, right? I don't know, like, really. Okay. Is it her responsibility? Yes, it is her responsibility. And if they fuck up, it's her fault because she's responsible. So there's that. There's some finger pointing going on, and she's pointing at like the fire guys, right? And they're pointing at her. So I mean, I don't know. Where are the facts? Maybe we'll never know. I'm not entirely sure, but that's just how I try and look at these things, to be honest, you know, because sometimes there's like explanations that completely like change everything, you know, and maybe that exists in this situation. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's really messy and it's a whole lot of in between. Right. And there's some finger pointing. I'm just sensing some finger pointing going on. She's pointing at the fire guy. Says it's their fucking fault. We should have been more prepped. Right. I don't know. but there's a lot of like evidence that I've seen, or at least claims. Actually, I wouldn't say evidence. There's claims that I've seen online saying things about her and things that she did. You know, so I don't know, man. Like, could it be like, could she totally be at fault? It's totally possible, you know. But I'm not entirely sure until we know, like, we learn more. I will say I sense that finger pointing though. I sense it. It's there, right? And that's a tactic with these people. Even Trump does this shit, right? Never admit being wrong. Never admit being wrong and always blame someone else. It's a tactic in politics that works very well. And you just never fucking admit being wrong. Good old fence sitting. Shut up, dude. I'm not fence sitting, bro. I'm literally saying she's fucking not admitting wrong. That's what everyone does. They never admit being wrong. So we'll have to see what saying we should see some facts is not fucking fence sitting, bro. You want to pick a side, right? I don't fucking like her. I'm a righty, bro. I'm just trying to be fucking like fair here, not be like, oh, the lefties, blah, 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 right? I'm trying to just be like, let's like look at this logically and try and be fair, right? I mean, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Trump warned them years ago about water keeping forests clean. I remember, like, I saw him talk about that, and he says, like, turn the water on, all this kind of shit. I have no idea if that's even like I don't know what that means. Like, they turn the water on. I don't know what it means. I would just have to understand it more. So, like, I just don't understand, like, what the reality is. Like, how are the resources supposed to work in LA when it comes to fires? I've never even thought about that before in my life. I don't know. How does that even work? I don't know. So that's all I'm saying. Is like, she wasn't there. Do I think that she wasn't prepared? I think she wasn't. I think that she's at fault. There's the fire department that are at fault. I think a lot of people are at fault and they weren't prepared and they're not doing things right. And I think that she's in never admit doing anything wrong mode. That's what I think, right? But I don't know for sure. That's all I'm saying. It's not fence sitting, bro. And there will be times where I will fence sit and I'll defend that shit. This isn't one of them. I don't have any problem with fence sitting. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't. This is one of those times where it doesn't make sense to fence it. It makes sense to just, like, there's what I think, but I'm still, like, waiting to see if there's any more information about it before I could say anything really for sure. You know, I'm just trying to, like, I don't know shit about how that stuff is supposed to be set up and who's in charge of, like, fires. I do know that fires just fucking happen, and it happened while she was gone, and she has no control over that, and that's being fair to her, right? Like, there's no way she could have planned for, like, fires that are gonna fucking happen. Now, if she was, like, straight up warned, if that's true, she's warned, like, there's going to be fires, and she went anyways, you know, that's retarded, and I'm not gonna be you know, in support of that. All right. In other news, you guys are gonna like this one. Remember that chick that slept with 1,000 dudes? Or there's another one that did 100 dudes in one day, right? And there's some sort of OnlyFans video they did. And then there's another girl, they're both like European, they're English. And they're competing to see who could be the bigger e-ho, okay? They're trying to see who could be the bigger e-ho. So Lily Phillips, she's the younger one. I think she's 21 or something like that. She announced that she's pregnant after doing her sleeping with 100 dudes in one day stunt. Here's what all right, now here's the funny thing. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. Let's explain some lore of ehos. Okay, ehos, they are very competitive with each other, and they're just who could be the better eho, because it's very lucrative. All right, and I will say, hey, you know what, you get that bag. If you're making millions, they're making more money than I am, bro. All right, so fucking whatever. Who am I to say, right? But they are very competitive with each other, and this is well known. I've seen this so much on Twitch. Okay, if one chick starts doing the like streaming in a hot tub, and now a hot tub meta has been formed. Now all the ehos are going to do a hot tub. There was one time, there's this one girl named Amaranth. She came up with a brilliant idea of painting her ass green so she could green screen her gameplay of Fortnite on her ass, which is such a like super pro gamer move of meta. And then other people started doing it, you know, and so anytime someone comes up with something, then other ones do it. Now this is to an extreme degree, and it goes straight up to porn, and that is with Lily Phillips, and she did her stunt where she slept with 100 men in one day. It was a big thing. Everyone was talking about it, and she made a ton of money from people being curious, wanting to watch it, right? And then, like, literally a week later, another one, EHO that's competitive with her. Her name is Bonnie Blue. So here's Bonnie Blue. She's in her 30s, and she decided to do 1,000 men in one day. And then here's the thing. So a week later, she does her 1,000 men stunt. And then guess what? Like an hour after, what's her name? Lily Phillips announces that she's pregnant, right? And an hour after that, Bonnie Blue says, hey, I'm also pregnant. So here's what I think. I don't think either one of them is fucking pregnant. And I think that what they're doing is they're getting us to talk about them. That's exactly what they're doing. I don't think either one of them is pregnant. And this one had the brilliant idea to be like, oh, dude, you know what would really get everyone to talk about this again? Because they'd stop talking about it. Let's say that I got pregnant. Then everyone's going to talk about it again. Right? So then fucking Bonnie Blue is like, you know what? That's a fantastic idea. I'll join you on that. And the fact that they're both doing it like, because at first I would have believed it. I would have been like, oh shit, she's fucking pregnant. And I would have been like believing that shit. But the fact that Bonnie Blue does it an hour after, I'm like, you know what? They're both full of shit. They're just getting us to talk about them. Okay? That's what they're doing. And I'm, as a content creator, I'm like, oh, that's fucking genius. Okay? Like, seriously, I'm like, dude, that's fucking pro gamer content creator brain. Okay? Come on. That it works. And it works. They did that shit successfully. We're all talking about it now. It works. Okay? So I'll give them credit. All right, they some clever ass EHOs gaming the internet, making millions of dollars, bro. They're good at it, and I love good hustle. All right, so my opinion is like, do I think that shit's trash and it's not good and stuff like that? Yeah, that's my opinion of it. But I'm looking at just the hustle of it, and I'm like, they're making a lot of money getting us to talk about them. They're basically like, this is the same shit that the Paul brothers do, but EHOs are doing it. It's the same exact strategy. We hate like watch this stuff, right? Or hate like get news about it on Twitter and stuff, and then we like comment on it like this stupid fuck. That's what you get, right? What'd you think was going to happen? Blah 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 blah. All that stuff, right? Everyone's saying all the things. Could it be a scam or snag for more attention? Okay, Mike, this guy right here, guys, is fucking logical. I love this guy. He has a lot of good takes. FaZe Banks, it's a boy. He's just memeing. Let's see people that are like, who's the father? You know, his parody account. Who's the father? Everyone going for everyone's memeing it. I better be careful scrolling down, actually. I better. But yeah, so of course, everyone's going to like, you know, clown on it. But a lot of people are going to look at this and get mad and believe that it's real. So I don't know. Just wanted to point that out. That's my theory. I'm pretty sure I'm right. In other news, this is staged as fuck. If you guys have heard of this, it was a drone that was at Drake's penthouse. It's staged. It's not real. Let's watch it. Oh no, there's a drone. Oh God, look at this bad acting. Look at him. Now I think that was real. That was the realest part of his acting. The rest of it is all just acting. Right? The way he threw that fucking light ass foam crock. Okay, who throws a foam crock like that? Drake does. Is he a bitch? Look at him, dude. This is the realest part of his acting. Look, watch him throw it. Look at this. That's the realest part of this, dude. It's so staged, though. He has a penthouse in Sydney, and they're staging it. He's doing the same shit. We're talking about him. This is the same shit. They did this so we would all talk about it, and look, it worked. 25 million views. 25 million views. It's an ad. It just brings attention to Drake. It's the same exact thing. Everyone is doing this left and right, and it's all over TikTok too. A lot of people, like I did this video of this woman who pretended to not know that Trump wasn't president yet it was like before the inauguration, and she's like, Trump has been president for 30 days and he hasn't done anything yet, right? And she was doing it on purpose, and everyone was sharing it like, oh my God, she's so stupid. And she was just getting tons of clicks on TikTok, making money, bro. Like, it's not just like the big famous people that do this. It's people on TikTok will do it too. It's all over. Like, it's so easy to just fucking stage being retarded and put it on the internet, and then like, haha, and then everyone calls you retarded, and then you just get all this traffic to yourself. It's so easy to do that. And that's what a lot of people are doing. That's what Drake is doing. The only thing that was real about this, though, was that bitch ass throw. Look at that. Let's watch it one more time. That's the sound he makes when he lifts weights. Not that I lift weights. Anyways. In other news, TikToker is calling on someone to assist President Trump and offers to write naughty letters to them in jail if they get caught. This is ridiculous. Now, are these people doing this for real, or are they doing exactly what I was just talking about? I think sometimes this shit's fucking real. And they're just stupid, and they don't realize that they should not be doing this on the internet.
For the person out there who's planning on doing it, you know, the thing that we all wake up every day hoping we'll see in the news, and we're like, man, no one's done it yet. Keep going. Your plan, it's gonna work. If not, it'll inspire the next person, and we are all rooting for you. You have our support, you have our admiration. We might make a national holiday out of you, and I will definitely put money on your books. And if you're into this sort of thing, I'll write you some letters of the naughty sort, should you find yourself behind bars for it. But we're all rooting for you and hoping that you do it quickly and get away with it. Power to the people. For the person out there who's planning on doing it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's real. But it's like you know how, okay, a lot of you guys are older, you might not get this reference. I've been playing Minecraft since it came out. So even though I'm older, I've been playing it since 2009. All right, but there's this thing that we say on the internet, and that is, you know, oh, I want this person to unalive themselves in Minecraft, right? So you follow it up with in Minecraft. So you're not actually saying it, you're just saying, but only in the game, right? So it's a way of getting around saying the thing that you want to say. And that's literally what she's doing. And like tagging FBI, Secret Service, I think is perfectly good. And they should look into this shit. People loot. I remember when I was a little kid, I had like a toy gun. And it was just a toy that I had, and I thought it was cool. And I put it in my bag, and my dad and I were flying somewhere, and I was a little ass kid, and I got in so much fucking trouble, right? It was so much trouble. Like it was a toy gun, okay? And my dad, it was so funny. They let us fly anyway, and they just took it and threw it away. And I was like, no, my toy gun. It was pretty cool. It was like one of those cowboy ones you put pop things in, right? It was sick. It was all metal and shit. But yeah, it's so retarded of me to do that, right? And that retardation that I did, and I didn't know any better. I was a little ass kid, but it's still retarded to do that. That's the same retardation that this person is doing, except this is not a little kid. This is a grown adult. This is not, or if it's not a grown adult, this is a teenager that, you know, that's still like should know better. Okay. Like we should still hold that accountable. So yeah, at FBI, at Secret Service, fuck yeah. This is retarded. Stop doing this. No. Don't support anyone on your side doing this. If you're a lefty, look at this and tell them, fuck off, dude. Stop doing that shit. That's stupid. You're not helping. These people are not helping lefties. They're not helping at all. There might be lefties that don't give a shit and they think everything's doomed and they just want to watch stuff like that and feel good. Sure, but it's not helping. If you guys truly care and you guys want to have a more competitive political side on the left, which it looks like it's an absolute fucking disaster right now, drop those fucking losers, get rid of them, and stop allowing that to happen, and fucking shut that shit down and start making goddamn sense again. Straight up. Here we go. All right. In other news, we have another one here. This is an ICBM that was launched this morning by the US. It is just some new shit. I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. I'm like, you know what? I like watching missiles launch and shit, bro. I mean, I used to listen to this with metal music when I was in the Marines. I would just watch like fucking combat footage and like Tool, you know. It's like, it's funny because it's like anti-war music paired with all this badass fucking kicking down doors and blowing shit up. But yeah, let's check this out. What we got here? Keep going. Play. It's narrated by Staff Sergeant Johnson.
Air Force Global Strike Command airmen conducted an operational test launch of an unarmed Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile from Vandenberg Space Force Base, February 19th, to demonstrate the readiness of the U.S. nuclear forces and provide confidence in the lethality and effectiveness of our nation's nuclear deterrent. Today's test launch used a randomly selected intercontinental ballistic missile pulled from F.E. Warren Air Force Base, Wyoming. The missile was transported more than 1,300 miles and reassembled at Vandenberg Space Force Base, California.
Does that mean reassembled?
The ICBM was equipped with a single telemetered joint test assembly re-entry vehicle and traveled approximately 4,200 miles at a speed of more than 15,000 miles per hour to a test range near the Kwajalein Atoll in the Marshall Islands. The ICBM Test and Evaluation Program helps validate the reliability the nuclear umbrella our allies and partners rely on, eliminating the need to obtain their own nuclear weapons to counter potential adversaries. The 50-year-old Minuteman III is based in Colorado, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, and Wyoming, and will be replaced by the LGM-35A Sentinel.
America! America!
Clear forces used
America! Fuck yeah! Come to save the motherfucking day now, America! Fuck yeah! Freedom is the only way now. Have some fucking freedom. Fucking land this shit on the cartels. When are we gonna start doing that shit, bro? I really want to drone the fuck out of those guys. I'm not even kidding, dude. Seriously, like they're designated as terrorists now, these cartels. I think we have a thing on that, actually. There was a Trump tweet. Do I have that saved? I don't. Oh my God, I don't have the Trump. Trump just like did a big old thing where he's saying these particular, or no, it wasn't Trump tweet. It was a notice from the government. It came out earlier today saying designating like MS-13 and a lot of these other cartels that I've never even heard of as terrorist organizations. So I'm like, well, that means that, and now they're sending drones to spy on them. So we're figuring out where they're all at. We're watching them. And what are they going to do next? Are we going to start fucking drone striking those guys? I don't want to do it without Mexico's permission. So I hope that they let us do it so we can unfuck that situation.
Democrats for now, 2 weeks have been saying instead of
what is this? Hold on a second. This is from, I don't know if this is Representative Jim Jordan. What does he explain? Hold on. I have this link here. Jim Jordan on spending. Oh, this guy's talking about spending. All right, let's hear what this guy has to say about spending. Jim Jordan, is he a righty or a lefty? I'm not familiar. Can you guys let me know? I don't really like pay attention to all the teams and what the players are on each one. Sicario 2. No, this would be Sicario 3. So this would be Sicario 3 IRL, bro. 2 already happened. You should watch it. It's a good movie. Not as good as the first.
Democrats for now,
he's a righty?
2 weeks have been
thank
saying
you.
instead of stopping the stupid spending.
Also, somebody said that my feed is too righty or too alt-right or whatever they said. I forgot what it was. But you're right. That is a lot of what I get on my feed. And that's why I hired a lefty to find shit that's lefty shit for me that they're saying. And unfortunately, all the lefty stuff that I've been getting today was batshit fucking crazy, and I just couldn't fit it in, to be honest. But last stream we did a lot of it. Stream for that we did a lot of it. This stream was mostly based off of let's see, here's the docket. We have I mean, I have shit that's Drake caught hog-handed. That's what I called it. I talked about the Lily Phillips, shit, and I'm just being fair about all of this. A lot of the righty stuff, like we're like, is DEI actually causing plane crashes? Right? Like I questioned the fuck out of that the entire time. Right? It's not like I'm just agreeing with all this stuff that's being said. I listen to it, and if I question it and I'm like, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't sound fair, that doesn't add up, then I say so. I don't just agree with everything. So I'll let you know. Right? I will let you know what I think about stuff, and I put lefty shit on all the time, and a lot of it has been really wacky. Like I think it was yesterday we covered they want to get rid of President's Day because they don't like Trump, and they were literally just saying that like right on the news. That's what they're fucking talking about, and it's like, dude, you guys are being like so petty. Stop. There was another one they're saying, and maybe you guys agree with this. I don't know. A lot of people on the left are saying this right now. And I've heard it several times now. It's a talking point that's real. They're saying that free speech is what caused the Holocaust. What? That is crazy. And people are like repeating this. It's crazy to me. So I shared that, and I'm like, I don't think that that's true. I ask like, is there like, what is the actual argument here then for that? And like, there isn't one. There's not a good one. Yeah, how did free speech cause the Holocaust? That's crazy.
Democrats for now, 2 weeks have been saying instead of stopping the stupid spending, they attack the guy who's exposing the stupid
Here
spending.
we go. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
I think we should maybe...
This guy's just going to say exactly what we're all thinking, all right? Because we all agree, we all see it. Yeah, they're being stupid, and they're attacking all this stuff that makes sense to most people. They're taking the 20% of the 80%. 80% of people agree with this. They're taking the 20% side, and it's killing them. It's killing them, dude. You're killing the party. Like, I want the Democrats to be more competitive. I don't want the fucking Republicans to just completely steamroll you guys forever. I want some pushback to keep us in check. It makes us more competitive. Keep us on our toes. We need the Democrats to be more competitive. It's good. It makes us strong to have to fight for what we got. You know, we don't want to be weak bitches.
Maybe get rid of the stupid spending. Trans comic opera in Ireland, Sesame Street on Iraqi television. I think maybe we should focus on that. No. Can't do that.
That's
and I think this just underscores the fundamental difference between the left and those of us in the Republican Party.
A lot of people on the left are going to agree with this. They actually do. And they're frustrated with their own side. And they just want their side to stop being stupid.
The left thinks the bureaucrats are smarter than we the people. Got to trust the bureaucracy. Got to trust you got to trust the experts in the government. I'd rather trust the people. The 77 million people who elected President Trump, who told us he was systematically going to go through these agencies and identify dumb things where taxpayer money is going to.
Drew in the chat says, I'm a liberal, and I agree. It is very annoying how comically weak the Democratic Party has been for the last couple of years. And and it's true, right? So competitively, like me on the right, I like that it's that way because it makes you guys easier to beat, right? But like the American in me, right? And I don't agree with a lot of things that especially liberals would say with their views of the world, but I want them to have the right to be able to fight for it in the first place. And I feel like you guys' right to even fight for it has been taken away by your own party. And I don't think that's right. And I want you guys to have a better, I just want you guys to come reborn and just make more fucking sense to people. You know, I think that all the lefties want their own side to just make more sense to people so they could be more competitive. And that would be a good thing. That would be a good thing for the lefties. You know, the righties, it would be annoying because now we have to fight somebody that's being more competitive, but it's all good. Everything will work out better if both sides just try to make more sense. If they can fight to be the side who makes the most sense, no matter what happens, everything will just be better in the long run. Whether we have some time with lefties, we have some time with righties, lefties in charge, righties in charge, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Things will be better if both sides are just trying to make as much fucking sense as possible and be logical. Okay, you can be logical with your different worldviews. I think that we shouldn't be arguing about whether we're auditing the government or not. That's where the left is fucking up. Instead of fighting just auditing the government, period, just fight over what we're auditing, right? If we need to cut spending, let's argue over what we think should be cut or not. That's a good, healthy argument to have. Because obviously we do need to make cuts for spending too much. It's math out, bro. It's like evidence. It's there. Okay, we know this is true. So let's not argue whether or not we should, and let's argue over what should be cut. It's healthier, and it would be more cooperative. It would be better for the left. All right, you're bleeding support because there's wackos that are in charge of your guys' shit, and you need to get rid of them and put somebody up there that makes more fucking sense to people.
He told us he was going to do it. The American people understood it. He got elected. Now he's carrying out that mission, and they're attacking the guy who's President Trump has put in charge of this effort. The bureaucrats who decided Big Bird and Bert and Ernie on Baghdad TV was a good use of taxpayer money. Can't question them. Can't do that. Can't question the people in the bureau. Can't question the 108,000 people who work at Treasury. No. They're smarter than the folks President Trump has asked to come in and
Elon's
look at
doing it, bro.
where our tax money is going.
It. They don't like Elon.
Can't question. I think about this.
I know why they're doing it. They can't stand Elon.
The smartest bureaucrat in the history of the world, Dr. Fauci, the things he told us. We weren't allowed to question him for 2 years, and he ran our lives. And here's the irony. Everything he told us turned out to be false. Told us tell us the virus didn't come from a lab. Yes, it did. We got agencies now that tell us that, confirm that. Told us the vaccinated couldn't get it. Told us the vaccinated couldn't transmit it. He's wrong on both those counts. Told us masks work. Told us 6 feet social distancing was based on science. They just made it up. Here's the kicker. He told us this is the first virus in history where there was no such thing as natural immunity.
So wait, is he talking about Fauci right now and claims that he made? Is that what he's talking about?
Can't question him. Gotta trust the bureaucracy. I'd prefer to trust the people. Oh, by the way, remember when they tried to set up a bureaucracy in the government that was going to tell us what we were allowed to say? They actually had tried to set up the
so I don't know what Fauci fucking said. I have no clue. I never really listened to him. I just stayed inside and streamed on Twitch, bro. That's what it is. So I have no idea if that part, what he's talking about with some of the things Fauci said, is true or not. I don't know. Just saying. I don't know.
Information Governance Board, as if a bunch of federal bureaucrats could tell us what we can say, what we can't say, what's information, what's disinformation. You got to be kidding me. So I'll trust the guy who was elected by 77 million Americans. I'll trust the Constitution. The executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States. You know why they did that in the Constitution? Because that's the guy who puts his name on a ballot and has to get votes, not the bureaucracy, not the thousands and thousands of people who think they're so much smarter than us regular folks who just get to vote. Trust the guy who was elected and the people he's put in charge of this effort. He told us he was going to do it. The American people elected him to do it.
That's what we like.
And maybe focus on stopping the stupid spending. After all, we have a $36 trillion debt.
All right, so I agree with most of everything he said as at the beginning. Where he starts talking about Fauci, I'm just gonna say I don't know what Fauci fucking said, so I don't know. Like, I think some of you guys probably followed everything and probably know more about it than me. I didn't follow that, so I don't know. So I'm not gonna like sit there and be like, yeah, right? I don't know. But yeah, being against like saving money and being optimized with the government is ridiculous, and I think that a lot of people agree with that. I think it's essentially a nonpartisan issue, and I think a lot of people on the left are like kind of seeing like what is frustrating for people on the right and why they're picking the right. And I think that's good. I think that's a healthy thing because a lot of people have kind of shut off or like put blinders down so they can't like understand their opponents. And I think it's really good. Like one thing I try to do, you know, because I have my worldview and I know that lefties have their worldview. Instead of just like closing off everything, I just try and understand what their worldview is and why they're seeing things that way. I don't agree, but I can understand why they see things a certain way. And it makes me be less mad at them. And it's, you know, and I recommend both sides do this. Like, trying to understand why a side thinks what they think. You know, you don't have to agree with them, but you can understand why. And it just helps a lot of things. Nothing but good things come from when you can understand why people are doing the things they're doing. It's usually about, you know, I think most things boil down to money and how it should be spent. But at the end of the day, but it's really easy to do, in my opinion. I wish more people do it. All right, here we got Chuck Schumer talking about wasteful spending. I actually saw this clip earlier, and I think that this is a step in the right directions for Democrats, even though I can't stand this guy. Personally, I can't stand him, but I think he said something here that makes more sense. You guys tell me, you listen to him. Let me know if this is like Democrats coming to reality just even a little bit, right? Listen.
Of course there's some wasteful spending, but you don't use a meat axe and cut everything.
Okay, so let me just stop it there. He admitted, of course, there's wasteful spending. Come on, that's it. That's all I'm saying. It's a step in the right direction, right? I wasn't expecting someone to like even admit that much. Okay, it happened. It's true. Now, is he... I completely disagree with how he's going to follow this, and that is, don't use an axe. No, dude, cut the shit out of it. Cut it, and just when you think that you've cut the fat like perfectly, cut it even more. We just watched Kevin O'Leary say his opinion on this last night. We were watching him. He's like, cut it even more. I do this all the time when we're auditing our companies that we own, and we want them to operate more efficiently. We go in there and we cut all the unnecessary people out of the company. You know, cut the fat means fire as many people as possible. And when you think that you fired enough, then you fire even more, and you get rid of all the wasteful people that are holding the company back and slowing things down. And that's what he's suggesting for the government. And I have no problem with that. Even if there's collateral damage, I have no problem with that. We can just hire those people back, or if they're too fucking salty about it, get someone else. Okay? We will move forward. That's the way all companies, every time I've fired a lot of people, I've heard this so many times. This company won't survive without me. I've heard that so many fucking times. And I sold that fucking company to some richer, smarter people than me. Okay? I built that motherfucker up and sold it successfully. Dude, we built it up to where someone wanted to buy it without the people there that fucking said that I couldn't do it without them. Okay? They always say that shit. They always say that shit. They always do. That you'll never survive without me. And then we fucking do. And the same thing. They're saying, well, you know, what about all these smart people you're getting rid of? You'll never replace them. Yes, we will. There's more smart people. There's a ton of them. There's a ton of them. And they'll be cooperative too. They'll show up to the fucking work.
We need to look at each program. We need to go through Congress and see what's wasteful and move to eliminate it, and what's very not wasteful but very much needed. I'll give you one example.
That's facts. Okay, hold on. I agree. This is my opinion. Let's cut the things that are totally retarded, and stuff that makes sense, let's keep it. If stuff that makes sense gets collateral damaged, so be it. Let's fix it later. I'm willing to be reckless with it and just do it so it gets done. It's ripping off the fucking Band-Aid, and then if there's bleeding and we need to put another Band-Aid here or there, whatever, we'll put another one back on. Okay? It'll fucking work out in the end. It'll all be fine. That's the way I see it. So he's making sense. He's still fighting for but we can't cut everything. I know he's not wrong. He's not wrong, but I agree with the method that's being done currently with Elon Musk. It's very rough, and just sending it. Just send that shit and get it done. And then whatever's fucked up that we messed up, fix it later.
Community health centers in Medicaid. They're among the most efficient producers of health care we have, yet they tried to eliminate them. It makes no sense. They're just using a meat axe and cutting everything, including many things that American families need, want, and approve of.
It's probably going to happen. He's not wrong. He's probably right on that. I'm guessing that's very likely going to happen. I'm just on the side of I think that's okay. He's on the side that's not okay. I'm on the side that it is okay. That's where we differ, but at least we're talking about the same fucking thing. And the point that I was making is bro, which Democrat, there's not very many of them that are saying that. And as much as crying Chuck Schumer, right? Crying Chuck, the guy is annoying, and he's always been a fucking thorn in our side for the right. But when somebody says something that is factually fucking true, we have to admit it. And he's the only one saying that out of all the lefty guys that I've seen so far. They're all against it. You know, they're all saying it's the end of the goddamn world. And this guy's saying something that's more true. And do I believe that this guy's rich, right? How did he get all his money? Probably some shady ass method, right? Okay, just saying. But he's saying something that's true. And we have to, and there's hope for the lefties. You know, Chuck Schumer's saying it. You know, he's trying to be more logical with it. All right, I was saving the best for last. Guys, this is for you. Donald Trump roasts Robert De Niro. I was saving the best for last. All right, those of you that made it this far in the stream and have watched this thing, I've been live 3 hours, 42 minutes. This is a long one. Those of you that made it this far, this is for you. I saved the best for last. Donald Trump heckling, roasting Robert De Niro. Daddy Trump coming in. Here we go.
Bobby, it's your favorite president. I forgive
Look, it's the real Donald Trump.
you, Bobby, for being such a loser about the election. It's not your fault you were born with a low IQ. It's not your fault, Bobby. Believe me.
Believe me. It's not your fault, Bobby.
Bobby, your favorite president won. Kamala lost. She lost so strongly. You were wrong.
There he is.
You're a loser. You're a total loser. This show sucks. You're going to get low ratings, Bobby.
Look,
You're going to get low ratings.
Oh, my God.
Look at that. From raging bull to raging nobody. Such a disgrace.
Such a loser, Bobby.
It's such a disgrace, Bobby. It's a horror. It's an absolute horror. Kamala is getting drunk somewhere.
Shit person. I don't know anything about this person at all. I've never heard of this person in my life. It looks like this is what he does. He's a Trump impersonator. If he's a shit person, I don't know about that. I just think this is funny. Because fuck Robert De Niro.
Unbelievable. Look at this guy. That guy's calling your favorite president a virgin. Can you believe it? Look at that crowd. It's such a horror.
Whoa. Okay, see, that's the moment you let it bother you, you lose. This is Robert De Niro is not understanding this basic concept with the internet. The moment you let it bother you, you lose. Shouting back at the guy, you're a virgin, is just taking the L. He could have ignored it the entire time and just been like the famous guy that deals with it, or he could be like virgin, right? That's the worst thing he could have done. Oh my God, dude, just don't say anything. That's how you take the L. Duh.
Such a disgrace if you look at it, but we're gonna win. We won big, okay? Look at that Come here, paparazzi. Come here. I love this guy. Look at that.
I love this guy.
You want to do a little dance, paparazzi? Come here.
Yeah. He's on Cameo. He does a pretty good job with it. I've never heard of that guy before. If he's a shit person and it's true, then fuck him. If that's just some bullshit that's going on the internet, then fuck the people spreading bullshit. I don't know. That's the way I look at it. Guys, I'm out here. Walter White, thanks for the follow. I appreciate you. We have been live a long time, but it's time for me to go. All right. This was a successful 3-hour, 45-minute podcast. Hope you enjoyed. I will be live again when Trump is live. Trump's live tomorrow. I'll be live again. All right. When Trump streams, I stream. That's when we do this. And then we have a full stack docket, all types of cool things to talk about that are going on. We can have just like a realistic, not expert opinion. Of course, not an expert in any of this, but I just like to look at stuff like a normal person does. All right. Normal people look at these things and try and digest it. I'm a normal person. I'm not telling you what to think. I don't know what the hell is going on half the time. I'm just trying to understand what the hell is going on while supporting the guy that I am glad that is in charge, Donald Trump and Elon Musk. All right. God bless them both, even though I'm not religious. So I appreciate that we have them, though. Greatest team up of all time. Okay, guys. See you on the next one. Bye. See ya.